So the New York Giants have basically been one of the worst teams consistently in the league for the last decade or even longer, and I feel like they are a perfect candidate for our first 10-year rebuild of Madden 24. And I know it's a little late into the year to be doing, first of anything, but considering 10-year rebuilds, 20-year rebuilds, 15, 30, whatever kind of quantity above the normal 5-ish, usually is for teams that are pretty bad. You don't really need that many 10-year rebuilds plus anyways, but this is definitely one of those teams that could need it the most. Might take more than 10 years to get this team a Super Bowl, but we'll see what we can do. Of course, looking at the offense, this was easily one of the worst offenses in the league last year. Its points per game was really bad. The pass game was basically non-existent, and their run game definitely was not the best, but that's what happens when you have no threat of a pass attack. Daniel Jones was injured, but you look at the year before, they only lost 300 yards of passing offense. Definitely took a hit in the run game, but realistically, without him, Daniel Jones, he really hasn't been anything special. I know there's probably 98% plus of Giants fans that hated the contract that he was signed to. I mean, it was clearly seen as the outlier when you compare, his contract to guys like Baker Mayfield, realistically, because, right now, I don't think there's a single Giants fan that would say no to Baker Mayfield if it was a straight-up trade between him and Daniel Jones. Yet you look at the money per year, and it's like, well, how is Daniel Jones making more? Either way, we look at wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. The Giants this latest offseason were like, you know what, we're in a rebuild, we know that, but we're going to get players that are about as close to guaranteed at some of our biggest position needs as possible. Obviously, trading for Brian Burns was one of those steps. And then getting Malik Neighbors, who a lot of people actually, maybe not a lot, but there were a good amount of people thinking he was actually wide receiver 1 over Marvin Harrison. So that's why, Marvin Harrison Jr., that's why we have him as a superstar dev, which I think is fair. Very good player. He's going to be wide receiver 1 here. And, even for a 10-year rebuild, 20, 21, 22, whatever age, likely going to be here for this whole damn thing. Daniel Jones definitely needs to be replaced. Devin Singletary, big shoes to fill, but he is a pretty good running back. Is he as good as Saquon? Definitely not, but he's still very good. Darius Slayton's a great number 2. He really just is. And then wide receiver 3, you could argue Wan'Dale Robinson is the better wide receiver 3, but I think Jalen Hyatt, who's not only a little bit younger, I believe, but also more balanced, more rounded, is going to be a guy that I would like to develop more. Tight end, obviously we know about Darren Waller retiring, and it's going to be up to Bellinger, who we love in our Bisons franchise, and Theo Johnson, the speedy wide receiver, or tight end 1 now, potentially, to take over that role. Offensive line, you really just have a franchise left tackle in Andrew Thomas, and then a bunch of maybe they can get it done rest of the line. Evan Neal really has not taken that next step. John Runyon's actually a pretty good pass blocker, but he's just so bad in the run blocking game, and then the rest. I mean, there's just not much going on in this offensive line except for left tackle. Definitely need to rebuild that a little bit. The offensive numbers, I think it was like 2,800 passing yards, 1,800 rushing. They were like the worst offense across the board pretty much, or very close to it. Points per game were under like 16, and Daniel Jones was injured, but you look at the year before and they only had 300 more passing yards. So, man, that contract, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, the league kind of seen that as an outlier, as Baker Mayfield, I believe, got paid less. And I don't think there's a single Giants fan that wouldn't take a 1-to-1 trade of Daniel Jones for Baker Mayfield. I just highly doubt it. Regardless, though, we move on to the defense, which is not much better, unfortunately. Deonte Banks, not the best rookie year, but there's obviously potential there. Super blazing speed. One of the better players to grab in a fantasy draft, as he's got the size, he's got the speed, just needs some time to develop. Then we look at the rest, though. Andrew Phillips is going to be cornerback 2 for us, as the other options really aren't the best. Maybe Cordale Flott, but outside of that, there's really not much going on at cornerback. Safeties, Nubbin, you got yourself a youngster. They drafted him pretty high and was touted as one of the better safeties in the class, so going to be a plug-and-play starter for us. Dane Belton, because of the youth, is going to be starting free safety. Outside linebackers, they have a little bit of depth, but Ojulari hasn't really shown much for them. And now they got Brian Burns with Thibodeau, so one of the better edge rush units in the league now. And then inside linebacker, obviously Okereke was a great pickup for them. And then Simmons, well, it's not really saying much, has definitely fit in and been better utilized for New York than he was in Arizona. But yeah, not a whole lot of, eliteness like a lot of people thought he would be with that Swiss Army knife role. But looking at the DT, Dexter Lawrence is amazing. One of the best, well, definitely the best nose tackle in the league, but one of the best interior linemen, defensive linemen in the league in general. And then the rest are just like, this guy looks like a data analyst that they just needed to put in. Like, they just needed to put someone in there like, hey, you know, we know you love your job, but you want to make a little bit more money playing on a football field. It's like, okay, sure, I guess. Let's take that picture real quick and get me suited up. But, yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. Cornerback possibly, interior of the line for sure, middle linebacker 2, safety 1, and then offensive line. I mean, almost the whole offensive line. Tight end maybe, running back probably, wide receiver probably, QB definitely. There's a lot that needs to be done on this team. 77 overall. I expect the bad. I suppose I should also show you some of the other like ratings of players. Like Theo Johnson's going to be our number 1. Definitely very raw, but he's got some athleticism, so we'll give him a chance. And then looking at Andrew Phillips, who we actually already did look at. Never mind, he's not too bad. 22 years old. Andrew Phillips got some potential. We just need some dev ups. We get some breakouts early on for some of these normal dev players, and maybe we have less to replace than we thought. And if you're looking to replace a void in your life, you need like an hour or something that you want to fill with some content, maybe think about subscribing to the channel. We do a ton of franchise stuff, rebuilds, actual franchises where we're playing the games, and experiments, all that good stuff. So you'd be interested, maybe subscribe. Of course, if you end up liking the video, maybe leave a like on it. And for anyone that is not new, I really appreciate your continued support on the channel. Also, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK plays for non-Madden content, doing a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre gameplay on there, and it's been a blast. It's been really fun to be able to like record back and forth different content, not just like only football, especially since college football 25 is coming out. It's going to be even more, so yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of a break, so I'd appreciate it. Maybe check it out. If you hate it, oh well, dislike it, never come back. It's up to you. What the hell is this? I have never seen a double DB and an RB. It just looks like DB. It's like crazy, but we'll take it. Get ourselves potential dev up. You would think if you have like half the roster with a breakout, somebody's going to be able to get it, right? Also, did I call him Tyler Nubbin? I'm still just, once again, thinking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's one of the classic quote-unquote characters from the movie. Nubbins. Looking through these breakouts, and oh, that's the biggest loss right there, because all the other ones were star to superstar, I believe, so it's like you can't really expect much out of them. But yeah, I definitely expected a normal star dev, cornerback dev up, and oh, that pains me that we failed it. We're at time for re-signings, and I gotta say, we're looking, oh, it's literally just Tommy DeVito and Isaiah Hodgins. Is the Tommy DeVito, like, hype train still a thing, or was that just like a, at the moment, really cool story, and that was it? You gotta love, you know, the storylines, though. Like, I just... Seeing the agent, like, kiss the father on the, was it on the cheek, the head? I don't even know. And he's got that, like, classic, like, Italian look. Like, I honestly didn't know what was happening, but that was sick as hell. Yeah, only 2 names. That's weird. Don't get me wrong, I know the Giants need some help, but this is probably the worst season I've ever seen in a rebuild we've ever done. 1-16. It's got to be. It has to be the worst. I mean, that's literally almost winless in a rebuild setting. I've never seen that. Beat the Dolphins of all teams. That is... I mean, I don't imagine anyone would have beat us out for the number 1 seed. So, if there is a quarterback, you know, that's the way it is. And, I mean, you might just be able to stick it out with this team as the worst scheme set anyways. But I didn't change anything to, like, try and make us lose purposefully. I'm trying to think of what playbook would I... I'm starting to think, like, that's a good question. What are the worst playbooks? It might just be this Giants playbook set. But looking at Devin Singletary, it was pretty damn good. Receivers outside of that, not great, really. Just nothing going on there. Offensive line-wise, I would have expected worse. I definitely would have. Sacks, definitely would have expected better. That was really bad. Interceptions are somewhat there. Graham Gano. I mean, there's really just not much positive stuff going on. Joe Burrow wins MVP. That's like the only positive thing I can think of, because it's at least someone new. Any award wins for rookies? Not even close, actually. I don't see any of our guys anywhere, unfortunately. Not even close. Oh, here we go. Okereke and Brian Burns at 4 and 5, I suppose. Outside of that, though, really just... I mean, almost just a wasted season. Like, the season was just basically us trying to get a good draft pick, and... At least they did that right. They, at least, I would assume, landed the number 1 spot. Niners versus the Bills. We're hoping that the Niners win. We want to be the team with the most Super Bowls in New York by the end of this rebuild. And there we go. The Niners do win. There you go. looking at any potential dev-ups, I don't think we'd have landed any. And, yeah, not even like Theo Johnson, who maybe had a chance, got a dev-up. Okereke got a dev-up, actually. And that was it. But Okereke went up to Superstar, which is pretty nice. He's got to be 26, 27, 28. Oh, my God. Really needed that Superstar pretty badly then. But, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm praying there's a good quarterback. Wondering if it's still DeVito and I already forgot who the other person was. Who was it? It was someone that was 24. Isaiah Hodgins, that's who. Let's take a look. 52 mil, we have money. And it was just them two, I guess. DeVito, 2 year 6. Okay, see you later. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a backup quarterback, and even then, he's like the third string because Daniel Jones is about to be our backup quarterback. Let's take a look at free agency, see if there's any franchise changers here. A lot of people in their 30s, which this team is just not ready for. Shaheed's not a bad name, actually. But as we get down further and further, it seems like the decent players that are young just aren't there, which at the end of the day means I probably won't be spending any money here. Cesar Ruiz is interesting, but I think, John Runyon and Michael Schmitz, I think they're good enough, so we just replace those linemen with players from the draft. I think that's really that. And yeah, unfortunately, no one really with high potential at any of the positions we need. I guess Caden Stearns would be one of them, but even then, Dane Melton's younger still, I think. So we have pick 1 overall, and I assume it's going to be quarterback. I looked at them. There's not anyone that looks amazing, but there are 1 to 2 guys, which, I mean, we have these 3. Realistically, because of the size, Cleary is likely to be the guy that's going to be the guy. He's going to be the Cleary choice. I just had to go there. He's actually really fast. I didn't even realize that. Kind of just looked at the glanced, front page ratings with the talent grade and all that. I think it's pretty clear that Cleary is going to be that guy. Noah Cleary is quarterback 1. He's in dev, 84 speed, 94 throw power. Trying to think of who he reminds me of, but it's really good. Like Andrew Luck, maybe a little bit, kind of, sort of. Then we move on to the next round, which, yes, I could trade up because there's some pretty good players, but at the same time, I have players at pretty much every spot in this draft, so that's kind of what you need to do. If there's someone I liked, like one of those corners, I might take them. But since corner's not like technically that big of a need-ish, I'm not going to force the issue. And wow, all the corners are actually gone. I had several 1 to 2s, and they're all out of here. We'll have to see what we want to get. Of course, the draft's going to be a little different, I think, in this 10-year rebuild because of, I do the normal yapping like I'm doing now in these rebuilds that I do. It's going to be a very, very long video. So it might just be outside of this first draft because it's very significant, especially with pick 1 overall in each round. I might be doing a lot of like, here's our player, next pick, here's our player, next pick, and not really talking about my other options because you just don't have the time. And speaking of that, we're going to go with the DT, Bruce Peterson, 22 years old, pretty athletic, good strength, hoping for hitting. There you go. That's a good pick. 3rd round, I really like that running back. That might be the choice. And here is Max McQueen. I really like this player. I know his juke move sucks. His truck stiff arm isn't the best, but an A ball carrier vision, A break tackle with 21 years of age, 6'1", 221 weight-wise, and pretty good athleticism. There's a pretty good chance that's going to be my choice. I want to make sure that there's no one else because we do have this really fast tight end, Brian McKenzie, as well. I just think that we have players on our team right now at tight end that can develop. And as far as running back goes, none of them are going to reach 90. So Max McQueen's running back 1. Please be hidden. That's good. I don't know why I just sounded like I just ate like the greatest porridge of all time. But Max McQueen, hidden dev. So we traded a couple of draft picks with a tackle for the Cardinals' 3rd round pick. We move up like, I don't even know, 17 spots. We do not have a pick till the 6th round now, though. I'm not even sure who I desperately want here, but I really like this Cooper Kramer. I know he's not the most athletic guy, but a B zone coverage, B hit power to me means something, and he has really good block shedding. I think there's a good chance that is going to be my selection. Not really doing much for this offensive line, though, is the problem. Oh, you know what? I actually ended up trading up for a lineman, which it's not the worst thing in the world because I have seen these guys go early. Please be hidden, though. Oh, that sucks. I should have went Kramer. That sucks. Yeah, it was a really weak offensive line class, and Bayer was kind of the best one. Even the 3 to 4 I had was just, I don't even think a guy would have taken anyways. And, oh, the 6'4 corner Carr is there, though. This could be a steal. And he's normal dev, but that's still a steal in the 6th round, in my opinion. And then in the 7th round, I found this decently fast Reggie Craver guy, 93 speed at 6'1". I don't hate it. There's really only so much you can do in a draft. You know, it's unless you're trading down, which obviously with pick 1, we really needed QB. I was making the smart call. In reality, you know, in game reality as well, I could have easily traded down to 4, probably. Ended up with unbelievable value, maybe 2 first-round picks off of that, and still landed one of the top QBs, but I wanted to go realistic. Get that QB at pick 1 overall. 74, 73, 73, 74, 72, 67. Not bad of overalls. I'm going to go this way, though. Not going to do this for every draft, but for ones this important, you know, where we had the first pick overall, where we're drafting our quote-unquote franchise quarterback. Ooh, those ratings are nice. Injury and toughness are a little questionable, but tight spiral, average sense of pressure. You know, he is a good quarterback. That's all I can really say. He's a good quarterback. Let's take a look at that dev. Only star. Kind of sucks, but what can you do? But like I said, with that, we could have easily went to 4 and grabbed QB. We're not wrong. Might have even been Cleary. The very first quarterback after our selection was all the way down to the Saints, who also landed a star dev guy. I don't know why I said also landed a star dev guy, but also landed a star plus dev guy. If he was higher than star, it would have made us look really dumb. Davis. Was this the other guy? I thought the other guy we had a choice of was White. I can't remember, to be honest. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But let's take a look at the dev of him. Oh, yes. Lovely stuff there. So we definitely made the wrong call, technically. But I like our guy. He's got good accuracies. Just needs some dev ups, and we're looking all right. And then Brooks was another choice. Another hidden dev. So this was a decent quarterback class. You know, unless this guy's an X Factor. It's not an elite class, but it is a very good one. Another superstar, of course. Nice. We move on to the DT, Bruce Peterson, who is 73 overall, a hidden dev. Really good power move, great strength. Injury and toughness, maybe not toughness as much on this one, but the injury definitely on the lower side for some of our guys here. Star dev would have loved better. 94 is definitely a pretty elite number for this team. McQueen! I kind of want him somewhere in the single digits. Definitely not the best. Another injury toughness problem, but you definitely get away with something in the 80s. It's just you like to be like close to 90 or in the 90s, but not as elusive as I thought or wanted. But he is still going to be running back 1 just because of the potential. The potential is the highest for him by anyone. Bayer, this was just unlucky. Based on his overall, this was just unlucky. Simply put, this was a guy that could have easily been hidden dev, would have been a future lineman for a long time, and we just didn't get lucky at him. But either way, got ourselves a really good press man corner at 6'4". As far as future, starters go, we got 4 starters in this draft, in my opinion. How long will they be starters? At least 3 of them I would see for the foreseeable future. Bayer maybe gets replaced, but that's okay. 3 or 4 starters in a draft down the line is not bad. Here is the team for Season 2. I'm still kind of debating on what kind of playbook I want to run, because I know that the Giants playbook is just really bad in Sim. I'm trying to think, like, what do you run? Something somewhat vertical with a good running back. Like, I don't know if I would say the Chiefs. It's a little OP anyways. But there's the rest of the offensive line. We definitely need to improve there more. Defensively, we got Peterson on the defensive line, but really didn't get a chance to upgrade too much. We got 3 potential starters down the line, and then, a 4th with Bayer. But yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, what scheme makes the most sense for this team. When I think of it, when we sim, I'll let you know. Am I crazy, or are we getting some really good offers for Azeez Ojulari? Azeez, they would take Buckner. I don't think that's very realistic. Corley, maybe? But, I mean, the Jets have been like a pass rush factory anyway. So, while I could make these trades, I don't think they're very realistic. So, we're going to keep Azeez. And then we're going with the Chargers offense. I thought it was pretty fitting, right? Azeez Ojulari, we could have got some pretty good value for him, but we're going to be letting him go to free agency. Just hasn't developed for this team, and those trades were just very unrealistic. Like, yeah, he has potential, but he doesn't have 1-to-1 DeForest Buckner potential. I think they even threw a 7th rounder in there for us. But Darius Slayton, 80 overall. Man, I really think we need to do better. I don't think he's a bad player, but at 27 years old, his ceiling is reached. He is having a pretty good year. We're a little past halfway, but he's not even interested in signing with us. So if I could do like a 2-year 20 maybe. 2-year 20? I'm a little surprised by that. Well, at first it was a very promising season, and it collapsed from there. Definitely an improvement. Really not a huge fan of that win rate at the end because the season was already over. But 7-10 for this Giants team. Obviously, we're still a team that is rebuilding, and the higher the draft pick, the better it is. So going to show you guys that we're not like forcing losses or doing anything, kind of shady to try and build up that roster for a nice run later on. Just playing it how it lies. I want to play it how, quote unquote, EA thinks it will go in real life. Cleary, obviously, much better than Daniel Jones, but still it's a little lackluster, just about 100 passer rating, which is pretty good, to be fair. McQueen, great touchdowns, yards are low because, well, he's not 90-plus overall. Ooh, 2 1,000-yard receivers, though. We do not hate that, and the other guy's not too bad either. Johnson could get a dev up from that. Normal star isn't that hard to get. O-line, there was someone in there that had 0, no? Bayer? Wait a minute. Are we going to have a rookie? You know what? I'm going to force that dev if he doesn't win the Rookie of the Year. Not Rookie of the Year, O-line of the Year. I think even if it's a left guard, right guard, center, whatever, 0 sacks allowed on 1,000 snaps is worthy of a star dev, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just cheating. Maybe I'm just trying to cope for cheating. But maybe he did win it anyways. Let's see. O-line, Bayer was at number 7. He is by far the youngest player up there, and it's not even particularly close. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? Left guard isn't even the same as center, really, where, might get away with some 0 sack seasons, but he deserves a dev up, in my opinion. I mean, there needs to be something in there. Like, I know sacks aren't the tell-all, but if you're a rookie lineman playing every single snap available to you, and not even available to you, every single snap available in general as a starter, and you allow 0 sacks, that should just be a parameter that automatically devs you up, Like, I just... It's really tough to implement something in the game to really truly tell you how good a lineman is, because sack totals mean nothing. Like, you could give up 5 sacks and like, oh, that's not that good for a guard, but like, they were the best run blocker in the league, and you can't really determine that in game other than, well, the running back had a really good yards per carry season or whatever. So 0 sacks minimum, I think, should be a dev up automatically. And of course, that's not what's going to happen here. Theo Johnson does get a dev up, which is great. Hate me all you want. Stop watching the video if you want. I think this is fair. I don't see how this isn't fair. It's a 0 sack season on 1,000 snaps. Even Andrew Thomas gave up 9. Defensively, dev ups, I don't see any. I don't think so, unfortunately. Phillips, another breakout chance, failed it earlier in the year, and Peterson really didn't go up that much in overall. 2 overalls, I believe. We need a new left end. We definitely need a new middle linebacker, maybe even 2 of them going down the line. Free safety, I think Dane Belton, his time has passed already, which is kind of crazy, but it's true. New center, new guard, and then definitely a new wide receiver, especially if we can't get Slayton back. But speaking of negotiations, what kind of money we got? 94 mil. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think this is tough because 12 mil is really low. But at the same time, if I do this 5th-year option and we re-sign him at 92, we're going to lose a lot of money. It's just tough. I wish there was a way around it. And I guess the way around it would be that we have to pay him really high, even if his overall is not that great. But Evan Neal obviously doesn't get it. Darius Slayton, I would like to just do something around this again. 2-year 21, I guess free agency is the long run best for him. Ojulari is going to be a free agent. And, Gillen, I guess the punter will keep him. Get him on a 2-year 6. I'm still kind of debating on what I want to do with Kayvon. I think I let him pass that option up and just re-sign him. I'm just costing myself more in the long run if I go with the 5th-year option, especially since he's green interest. There's at least an argument to be made if it's red, because maybe you buy yourself some time to get him more interested. Looking at the team, though, Justin Reed would not be a bad name. And we did have a pretty big glow-up last season, so maybe that's a contract that I debate, even though normally I never would. I think he is a really good safety, and we are lacking on safety. Do we try him? 4-year deal is a little high for me. I'd do a 3, I suppose. It's very expensive. You know what? If no one else is interested, I'm going to do a 2-year then. 2-year 34. We do have the highest interest, so we'll see what happens. And then other positions, don't think we're going to find anyone. Interior D-line would be great. Grady Jarrett's a 1-year option. That could be a decent option, actually. You might go with him. I like Grady Jarrett quite a bit. Definitely would grab someone in the draft if possible. I would say Wyatt Teller's pretty good too. Petonio's great too. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with Grady Jarrett and Justin Reed. And if we get them both, got some pretty big improvements to the defense. And we get him, Justin Reed, 2-year 34, which I think is fine. And then Grady Jarrett, a 1-year 12, which I think, or 1-year 13, actually, which I think is fine. That's going to be the off-season free agent signings. We also ended up getting Darius Slayton back on a 1-year 10, which is actually less than we originally offered him, but his market wasn't as good as he thought. And I'm still looking to probably draft wide receivers somewhat high if the pick presents itself. Here we go to the draft. Pick 10 overall in the first round. Every round specifically. This wide receiver, Nick Brown, looks really good. Some other guys that I scouted further, but realistically, Nick Brown looks solid. Not the fastest, but those key ratings look really good. Wide receivers definitely up there on my list. But realistically, I'd probably be looking at someone like Butler or Reese, even though they're not the biggest dudes in the world, as they look like the best potential where I don't have to take someone super high. And then we also have another corner that's 1 to 2. I don't know the kind of draft capital we'd get out of pick 10, but if we can get down to 20 and then make a trade up to land the wide receiver and the corner, I think that would be great. I think that'd be great. And wow, that wide receiver is still there all the way to the 4th spot. Let's see what we're at looking at number 10-wise. And damn, you got the top 5 wide receiver, Rashard Smith, 6'5". He's got a little bit of athleticism. He looks really good. Is that not who I take? I want to make sure that Reese isn't, like, really goated. Damn, he is really goated, though. He's fast. He's not really the type of receiver, Smith is not really the type of receiver we kind of have here. Reese would be like almost like another neighbor's almost. I like Smith quite a bit, though. You know what? I'm going to take Smith. Rashard Smith, if he's normal, I'm going to be sad. Nice. Really good jumping. 93 speed. I just felt like, you know, there's something calling me with him. I'm going to move on to the next round, and if Hunter is there somehow, because he's a 1 to 2, there's a chance he's there, I definitely will trade up, but I can't go any higher than, like, you know, where we are now. Reese is still there. Ooh. Maybe I should have waited. Corner. I mean, corner's not that big of a need, but it's up there enough. Ooh, Hunter is there. I got to go Hunter, I think. Right? Richard Hunter. He's decently fast. Really good man coverage. We're going to trade up to the Browns. To move up about 10 spots, we give him a 5th and a 7th this year with a 6th next year. And with that, we're going to be taking the cornerback, who hopefully is hidden. Obviously, Andrew Phillips is pretty damn young still, so him not being hidden, Hunter that is, would definitely be a little bit of a loss. It sucks because Reese looks great too, but we do not need 3 wide receivers. We already have a decent bit, you know, Slayton at number 3 now. If that 6'5" guy looks good enough for number 2, which I think he will, is not bad. And we also have some options. If I can get Will Hanks and then Foley in the 3rd and then the 4th, that would be great. So that's what we're going to be aiming for. Problem is, we don't have a defensive lineman, but we have Grady Jarrett for the year, so I'm all right with that. So with this pick, we're going to be going, I believe, just based on, you know, who looks the best, Richard Hunter. Maybe I should have actually waited a little bit, but either way, Richard Hunter, hidden dev. I mean, maybe there's no need to wait. We got ourselves a goon. All right, went to pick 10 because there was a lot of options. I would have assumed somebody we wanted would be here. Oh my God, it's just Foley. There's no way, really? Really? Okay. That sucks. You know what? I'm going to go Bigby then. I'm going to go Bigby. He's 21 years old. He's massive. Bigby. Hidden dev. There you go. Dexter Lawrence is also a big nose tackle type, but he's athletic enough to maybe where you can get away with moving him to like left end or right end in the future. But we'll see what we do. Foley, I'm going to trade up with Houston. And, you know, instead of that nose tackle, I would have loved the offensive lineman instead. Damn it. I would have loved the offensive lineman instead, but he wasn't there. Somehow, we had multiple, and they were all gone by pick 10. Really strange. But if this guy's hidden dev, I'm okay with how things turned out. Especially if that nose tackle's superstar, which there's reason to believe. We gave up Cordale Flott, Isaiah McKenzie, and a 5th and a 7th next year to trade with the Texans for 97. We end up keeping pick 10 in the 4th round. I don't even know if I have anyone here. I just feel like Cordale Flott I don't need anymore, and he's star dev, and he needs a contract, so why keep him? At this rate, Cox could be worth it, actually. Max Cox. That's what I'm packing. Derek Foley, though, day 3, please be hidden. Thank you. Thank you. I think he might be plug-and-play center right now, because Michael Schmitz, he's pretty damn old for a quote-unquote young lineman, and, you know, his potential is really not the best. Max Cox is still there. I'm going to be taking Max Cox, 6'1", 21 years old. Normal dev, but fast as hell. Got to watch out for those big, fast flying Cox. Let's take a look at the draft recap. Please tell me that wide receiver is 75+. Oh! 79! I did not expect that at all. This guy is good. Very good jump ball ability. This could be a generational. I actually almost traded down because I was expecting 74, 75 overall wide receiver, maybe star dev. Please be X Factor. Superstar, hey, that's great. Even though he's not X Factor, that's amazing. 88, why not? Great number for a wide receiver. especially for this team. Richard Hunter, the cornerback, we cooked. We cooked for sure. What is the dev of Mr. Richard Hunter? I want to take a look at the other wide receivers too, but we'll for now let's take a look at it. Yo, X Factor. That's crazy. That if this guy's superstar, this is one of our best drafts we've had in a while. It's a very good power move as well. This probably is a superstar as well. Let's take a look. Star dev. Still really good though, obviously. He'll be sitting for now. Fully, he's an automatic starter at center. I don't really care too much about the dev. You know, maybe superstar, maybe not. Cox. Actually, 74 overall real quick. Let's take a look. 74 overall could be the future. He's actually really good. He is actually not bad at all. Let's take a look at the other wide receivers though. We did really well. We cooked in that class. A Brown, 81 overall. Don't know if he's a generational, but those ratings did look great. Very slow. Obviously, our guy's better. Even if this guy's an X Factor, he's obviously better than this guy. Without a doubt. And he's only star. Wow. I mean, I would have taken that guy over our guy most likely. Wow, we did well. Davidson was 70. This was the wide receiver class of the ages. 87 release for a rookie. This is ridiculous. So what is that dev looking like? Superstar as well. I'm curious to see what Reese looked like, though. Absolutely curious. Where did Reese go? All the way 77. 77 over. To the Rams. Very good catching. Deep route running. Release is good. Definitely not as good as the guy we took, but also a whole round later. So, yeah, star dev. I do not hate what we did, though. We cooked. Superstar and an X Factor, two of the biggest position leads we had. That is great. All right, this would be Daniel Jones' last year on contract, and we would take an 11 mil dead hit off of like 40, 50 mil savings, I believe. So absolutely he would be gone. Season 3, and I think the team is now finally good enough to possibly sneak into the playoffs. 84 overall with very high potential. Wide receiver room looks great. McQueen, obviously yards per carry wise weren't great, but his overall went up a decent bit. Just needing to keep getting up higher and higher, and once he gets around 90, then we'll be able to tell if he is the running back of the future. O-line, we need a new right guard, potentially a new right tackle, but offensive line, 1 year by little, is slowly getting to that starter caliber. You know, we're set at offensive line kind of status. New middle linebacker might be needed, but Cox could be that replacement. Free safety, we got Reed for a year or two, and then left end we'll need. But overall, the team is definitely in a pretty good spot heading into this third season. Hey, Thibodeau gets 1 of 2 for his camp standout. Sucks that he's a pass rushing linebacker because they think he's an off-ball. So 2 years in a row now, we could have had like plus 10, or maybe not plus 10, but plus 6 to pass rush moves. Instead, we've got plus 5 play rec, plus 5 tackle the last 2 years. But now we get the 10K XP. Might need to scheme change because we're winning games, but we're winning them in like the very slightest, luckiest way possible. Brian Burns needs a crazy contract. Thibodeau, not so much. Singletary at that price, I would like to keep him as a backup. I think we replace Simmons. If Neal actually takes something close to that, we'll keep him. And Bellinger's expensive, but I love him. Oh, no. But yeah, we can afford everyone, obviously, very easily, so there's really no worries here. Another pretty damn good start. Derailed at the end. A little disappointing. A little frustrating. Can't lie. It might need to go to the meta playbooks. Yay, fun. Looking at the season here. Look at the losses. We lost every single game after week 8. That is disgusting. That is so disgusting. Oh my god, this game is so great. Looking at the stats and awards, let's take a look at Cleary. Wow, that was terrible. Touchdown pick ratio is good, but the yards are pretty low. McQueen definitely improved. Touchdowns were lower, though. Offense is pretty bad. Gonna be honest with you. Pass rush, though, was pretty damn good. Burns kind of took a step back, but Thibodeau hopefully gets that dev up, especially with the tackles for a loss. Kicking wasn't the best, but it was okay. Gillen, punting was pretty good. Any award wins? Probably none, right? Maybe we sneak one out. Best linebacker, perhaps. And we do. Nice. Kayvon Thibodeau. Outside of that, though, another lackluster season. DevOps for the offense, sadly not existing here. And then defensively, we had Thibodeau go to Superstar, which is great, like we expected. No dev up for Reed, which kind of sucks. But overall, I mean, everything was expected, right? Nothing out of the ordinary. Fifth-year option for Banks is an option, but I don't think that's going to be what we're going to do. Simmons, I think, at 28, we're going to replace. Slayton at 29, we're going to replace. Everyone else is kind of backup level, so I think we can afford and, with our draft pick, replace any player that we are losing at the starting positions here. 112 mil as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of options. See if any of those options are good. I did not want this. When the waiter gives you the wrong order. Looking at the free agent group, though, seems like the big thing would be tackles or pass rushers, which, sadly, with a 4-year 32 for Evan Neal, not really something we need on either side, really. Maybe you get Charles Cross and put him at guard because he has the athleticism to do it. I wouldn't hate that, actually. You know, especially with the price, I actually wouldn't hate this. A 5-year 80 to play guard with his athleticism? Why not? Why the hell not? If he stays, joins us, I would be down. I would absolutely be down. And then we need a new kicker because Graham Gano did retire. I would like someone a little bit younger than this, though. Dicker, maybe? Superstar Sanders. When the hell did he get Superstar? Let's go 2-year Sanders, I guess. Boom. Should be able to get the guys that we just offered on. Let's make sure there's no DTs because we did lose Grady Jarrett. We could get Leonard Williams back. He's actually not bad, but I think I want to go the rookie route. I think I want to go youngsters. Higher ceiling, right? Cross and Sanders. Hopefully we get Cross. We do, and we obviously will get Sanders. New right guard for Charles Cross. I mean, he's got athleticism. Problem is he's like a main pass blocker, which I suppose, we're kind of replacing Runyon with a better Runyon now. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of throwing him over to the guard spot. 5-year 80 is not bad for a guard. Here we are entering the draft. I am curious to see what the Cardinals want to do because there is what appears to be a generational right end, and he is big enough to where you could probably just put him on the interior of a 3-4, 276, 6'6", with 30 reps, 4.58 40 time. I mean, if that's not generational, I'd be shocked. I'd be genuinely shocked. The problem is I don't want to trade up to 1 for a non-quarterback. And even though we're at pick 5, that would still be kind of costly. I'm kind of curious just to see what the Cardinals' needs are, if you will. I mean, it doesn't appear, but the guy's so good that he might still be taken. And he is. Damn, son. They didn't need him. They have BJ Ujulari, who's 80 overall. It wasn't even on their top 5 list, need list, and they were just still he's just too good not to grab. Who's this guy? Rossum. He was on my list, I'm pretty sure. Looks really good. Super strong, but, yeah, I mean, even if I could guarantee a generational lineman, nah, that's not true. If I could guarantee a generational lineman, I would take one. But we can't, so I think realistically, based on what we need and what we're able to get, this is going to be a trade down. We're going to get lucrative. What about this safety, actually? I mean, I seen him on my list. He looked pretty damn good. Nah, we're going to trade down. I just couldn't go to pick 1. Pick 2, maybe I can make the trade down. Pick 1's too high. Pick 1 is literally any player you want, which is just obviously that's going to be valued really high. I think the Raiders are going to be my choice. I get 26 off of them, a 3rd round, and then of course I get that 1st round could be really good. Bad in, a way. The Packers are at least giving me proven good picks, right? 30 and 62 with a 1st next and a 3rd next. I'm going to go Packers, actually. Not to mention, the Raiders could have traded up for a quarterback, would make, James Harden. No. James Harden is, with his push-off, is gone, unfortunately. 1 or 2. We got other players still, DT types. But do I want any of them? I don't know. What about corners? Unfortunately, the corner I really wanted is gone. Stoudemire. We have Chambers. I might go safety. I might actually go Stoudemire. I like Stoudemire a little bit. 21, 6 foot tall, 4.44. Looks really good. And then you have Devontae Nix, who's pretty good too. Looks a little better. I really don't know who's better here. They're both a hit power. I think Stoudemire's a little bit taller. What about Chambers? That zone coverage could suck, though. Were they both 21? And Stoudemire's 21, which I think he is. We're going to grab him. Nate Stoudemire. Future-proofing safety without hitting. I'm off everything. And, of course, Nix is still there. I can't take 2 safeties. We don't need to. And I don't know the block shed, but I'm just going to take Chad Ellerby. The value looks pretty damn good. Please be hidden. Thank you. I really didn't have any intention of grabbing him. But I wouldn't say we're in, luxury status for picks right now, but we're pretty damn close to it, right? We have a lot of our, starting positions set. We just need them to continue to develop, and that's where I'm at with this. Oh, wow, the offensive line sucks. I really don't want to go Connor Wallace. I don't think he's that good, but like if I want an offensive lineman, which actually, do I really even want one? We got Cross. I don't even really need one. Never mind. I'm good. I'm good. You can keep it. What else do we want though? Could still go with like Pearson in like the 4th round or something like that, but if he's there, Sarah looks pretty damn good. I think Sarah looks the best at middle linebacker. 21 years old, 6'2", pretty athletic. Grabbing Sarah. There you go. That's our new middle linebacker too. Sucks for Cox because, yeah, sucks for, okay. He was sitting back up, could have been the guy, but it just, things pivoted. That's all I can say. They pivot. And you know what? Pure value-wise, I'm going to take Connor Wallace. Why not? Hidden Dev, nice. We just don't really have, we have extra picks, like I said. We don't really have many needs after the players we just drafted. Just take them as available and what positions we might need in the future. And here's Pearson, the offensive lineman in the 4th round. Boom, hidden. Nice. Really strong. This was a pretty good draft. It sucks we couldn't get that what appears to be generational DN, but still landed a hidden guy to put in replacement of Grady Jarrett anyways. And we landed a 1st and a 3rd round pick for next year from the Packers. So life is pretty good for this team right now. Here we go, the draft recap. 75, 73, 75, 72, 73. Stoudemire was our 1st round draft pick. The only guy that wasn't hidden, unfortunately. Really good hit power. He is good, though. His block shit kind of sucks, but amazing injury. Pretty good stamina. All right toughness. Amazing zone coverage. Pretty damn good hit power. He's lacking in some tackle, some man coverage, some play rack, and doesn't really have good block shed, but he's actually not a bad player by any means. So it turned out to be better than I thought it was going to be after seeing he was normal. And then Ellerby's an amazing block shedder. Looks like he will just be the starter at left end. Dev? Star Dev. Okay, fair enough. Sarah, the middle linebacker. Automatic starter. Peter Sarah. Looks really good, actually. Coverage is a little iffy, but there's a lot of green, which is good. A lot of tackle, a lot of play, pursuit, all that kind of stuff is great. Dev. Star Dev, fair enough. 52 is the number. And then offensive lineman we don't need right now, technically anyway, so I'm going to let it go. Want to see that Carr guy, and then I want to see... Was there someone else who wanted Carr? 79 overall. Probably generational, but not guaranteed. 79 power move, 79 finesse, pretty good tackle, very athletic for his size. Could actually be a non-generational. Let's see. I imagine he will be, though. Wow. We kind of dodged a bullet a little bit. That's kind of crazy. And then we had the choice between our safety and this guy. They're both normal. All right, I think we made the right call. A little more balanced, but our guy's better as a pure deep safety, I think. It is now season 4. The team is progressing, but we are still not progressing into the playoffs, which definitely is frustrating, without a doubt. This team is looking pretty damn good. We got a couple of really high dev players, some really high overall players, and guys like Cameron Jordan and Jimmy Ward being backups. I know they're older and later into their careers, and they're not the best anymore, but still 78 overall, 77 overall. They still provide value. We got depth. We've got starting talent. We just don't have a playoff berth. And our interior lineman, Peterson, gets 10K XP. 107 mil. Obviously, Banks gets a contract. Newbin gets a contract. Phillips might get a contract. I'm not really a huge fan of the... how the hell is Jalen Hyatt still only 24, by the way? Not a huge fan of all the red interest on re-signings. As far as Okereke goes, I'd be willing to do a 2-year deal worth 34. Okay, we'll see if we can do a little bit more than that and see if we can get him back. Deontay Banks should be fine. The rest should be fine. I don't know why this team is cursed, but the second half of the season might as well be deleted for us every year. We won that game right there, but another unbelievable losing streak sends us out of the playoff seeding. It's just, I don't get it, man. Cowboys, fair enough. Colts, I guess. They are some pretty tough opponents, I suppose, but we're one of the better teams in the league, and we would be even better if we actually made the playoffs. You get so much more XP. I'm not sure what is in behind the scenes of, what determines XP and all that, but it's factual that you get more upgrades the more times you make the playoffs. It's just the way it is. Clearly, touchdown to pick ratio is good, but the touchdowns are a little low for where we would like, right? If you're one of the truly great quarterbacks in this league right now, 35 minimum. That's what I'm looking for. Neighbors was great. Theo should go to Superstar. Smith was okay. We went with the Falcons playbook this year. It's not really doing it for me, though. Defensively, they're not great numbers, but for a 3-4, it's good enough. 5 interceptions isn't great. Sanders is okay. Gillen, great, decision to re-sign him. And I don't imagine we're going to win any awards. Caleb Williams is MVP of the league, and yeah, I mean, there's going to be no awards won for us. Seemingly another wasted season. Bills versus Packers Super Bowl. The Bills already in a Super Bowl, but lost the last time I believe they played. And we see the Bills win. So our chances of being the strongest New York team in this rebuild realm, not looking too promising. At least like wins start to finish wise in this rebuild. But Theo Johnson ends up as an 80 overall superstar. He's got to be getting up there in age though, 25, 26. Yeah, not the best. We'll see what happens. You know, there's a tight end prospect we like. But Superstar Dev definitely helps him out more than hurts him for his chance to be longevity-wise the tight end. Burns goes to X Factor Okereke. Yeah, I mean, him declining the contracts from us might have actually been like a blessing because I was going to do a 2-year. I think a franchise tag of like 18 mil might be really our best route anyways. But the team looks good, just can't make the playoffs. Is it time to maybe go OP with the Chiefs? I don't know. It might be because this is it's definitely not been a quick one. Let's go maybe Bengals next time, and then if that doesn't work out, then we're gonna go OP Chiefs. See what happens. But for those re-signings, there should really not be that many names. We have the 5th-year option for Cleary. I'd probably just wait on that. Okereke, the franchise tag is 18.5. It says 20, a 2-year 28.9, but he wouldn't even accept a 2-year 38. So, I think that's just that red interest, man, that re-sign interest, it just plays such a big factor. And unfortunately, if you want to keep these players, it's going to be a lot more than they're asking. And then as far as Jamie goes, he's played pretty well, so another 2-year 6. I mean, even that might be on the low end, but he is a punter, so 80 mil, we need a new safety. We need, there might have been another position in there. Might have just been safety, at least for starters. But 80 mil, let's see if there's any players that can, replace some of our guys. Chris Jones would be a great name to get. That'd be kind of like a 1-year deal, though. Kenny Clark, I don't think he's as big of a difference maker to be able to be like, okay, let's replace, the up-and-coming guys we have. If we're going to stunt the growth of any of our defensive linemen, I think the way we do that is by having a really elite player taking over that role. But if that's not going to be the case, then it's just not worth it, I don't think. So Chris Jones obviously is that elite player. Is he like the biggest problem on this team that it makes sense to sign him, though? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So outside of maybe like a rental safety, maybe even get Justin Reed back, I think we're going to be saving some money. Malik Hooker wants to be here more. Cole Bishop maybe because he's younger. I mean, I kind of just want to use Stoudemire. I think I might just start Stoudemire. That might just be the plan. Pick 16, and realistically, there's not... Oh, Wilkerson was actually one of my guys. I didn't think he was going to last that long. Was that the number 1 corner? That is crazy. Like I said, though, realistically, there's not much we actually need. It would just be like replacing guys we might not be able to afford in the future, and just maybe replacing guys that haven't developed as quickly as we'd like, where they don't need to be replaced, but since we have nothing else to go for other than a trade down, maybe that's what we do anyways. This Wheeler tight end looks pretty good too. What about the other players? Because they look to be like a pass rusher, like DeAndre Crutchfield. He's 21 years old. He's 4.55. He is now on our team. Hidden Dev, what a pick. I know it's an A to C finesse, but that speed, that athleticism, I just knew. Pick 31, of course, was the Packers' first-round draft pick, so definitely a worthy trade for them because they literally gave us the second worst pick possible. What about this safety, Derek Howard? He is 23, never mind. Stoudemire can start at that rate. Was the tight end still there? I don't know if we even really need a tight end, but this guy does look pretty athletic. Didn't scout him further because I just ran out of points, but very athletic. Is that enough for me to be like, hey, his athleticism is through the charts. He's him. He's the GOAT. I don't know, because we have other guys like McCoy. Hodgins looks great. There was another player. Ratliff is still there. I got to take Dwayne Ratliff. 5'10", 22 years old. Not the fastest, but A-man, B-zone. And the moment I rethought about, like, wait a minute, his speed was solid, wasn't it? I was thinking, this guy kind of sucks. Should have went, McCoy makes it all the way to 15. I would have taken him if he was there. Should have went with one of those interior linemen, probably. Hodgins is still there, so maybe not, maybe never mind. We took a risk on a player, didn't work out, and we're still going to land a really good player. Running back was just like a luxury pick. Obviously, the tight end's gone. Dre Hodgins, the value is just immense. So, obviously, Dre Hodgins is my pick. Normal dev, can't really complain, though, because, I mean, he looked good. You know, the other guy we took might have been us bad. That one, though, yeah, can't really blame it. Can't really blame it. That corner, You know, maybe I shouldn't have taken him because of the lack of speed. Oh, this is an moment for me. This running back looks pretty good. Do I not just take him? Manu Gomez. All the linemen I had were gone. Why not? Hidden dev. We got a running back backup. Next pick is, I don't freaking know, that pass rusher maybe? He's 5'11", but at least we'd have some depth at that position. Gaithers finally goes. It was a weird draft for us because we grabbed a bunch of stuff we don't need. Oh, wow. That pass rusher must have been goated if he's gone. This might be a couple of trade downs because I don't really have anything else. Earl Manning, who's this? 6'4", 22. Why not? Because he's normal. Got some 4th-round picks with our trade downs, but now we're in the 6th round, maybe 7th round, and we're going to go for fullback Palumbo. Draft recap, it was not the best draft, but overalls could be good. Yeah, 76, 76, 72, 74, 70, 66, 66. So the wide receiver's not great. Running back's fine. Left end's not worth it. But corner being normal, that's just an unfortunate, situation. But this crutch field looks great, and, we've basically future-proofed Brian Burns, if that even needs to happen. And if not, we got ourselves, another Azeez Ojulari backup level kind of guy, and we don't hate that. Star dev, I don't care. I wanted a pass rusher because the value was there, and the value was there. Dwayne Ratliff, a player we didn't really need, but if there was a position, it would have been corner. He doesn't look bad by any means. Dre Hodgins, not a bad player either. Just, unfortunately, normal dev. So we'll see what happens with maybe him needing to replace somebody needing a contract that hasn't lived up to their potential. Gomez, I don't know what his dev is, but he's a backup anyways, wearing that Jacobs number proud, and then the rest were pretty bad. Was there a player that we really were like, hey, maybe we should have went with them instead since this guy sucked? Maybe McCoy? Of course, if McCoy was there, maybe we would have chosen him over Hodgins, but he was one pick before us. Of course, hidden development trade. Technically, nah, he does look better in pretty much every way. A little bit worse in the block shed, but especially with hidden. Star dev, yeah, I would have loved him more, obviously. Oh, that's what I should have looked at. Wheeler. Did we sell by passing on Wheeler? Because we could have had Wheeler instead of the corner, I think. And there he is, 76 overall. Ooh. 89 speed, 86 catching. Please be star. Only star, please. Thank you. I can live with it. It is now year 5, and we have yet to make the playoffs. I think, you know what? I was going to go with the Bengals or something like lower for this season, but you know what? I think it's time. It is time we finally get to the damn playoffs. 5 years in. 5 years in. You know what? Okay, maybe we won't. We'll do one more, non-OP Chiefs playbook, and then we'll do it. If we don't make the playoffs. Offensive line, right tackle hasn't gone up in the overall. Oh, well, this is a superstar. But hasn't really gone up the overall I would like, but we're trying to see if Evan Neal could be the guy. He's 26 now. Not the best finesse blocker, especially pass block finesse, but he's pretty damn good in the power blocking, can't lie. Defensively, really no weaknesses other than free safety, who's still really young. He's 22 years old now, so he'll be the starter. And yeah, I like the way this has gone so far. For the most part, we're drafting some backups here and there that end up getting thrust into the starting role, and that's the way it should be in real life. I like that. LRB is the next in line of the camp standout winners. So halfway through the year, you know the drill. We're doing pretty well, but how long will that last? Dexter Lawrence, obviously. Neighbors, obviously. Cleary, obviously. Johnson, probably. McQueen, obviously. Bayer, probably. Peterson, probably. Okereke, unlikely. And even after all of that yapping, we should be able to afford everyone, I imagine. All right, so I took care of most of the contracts. Not the quarterback yet, though, and we're looking pretty broke. 23 mil left over. I think offensive line Barry Bayer is going to be a casualty. So this is now the first season where we're going to be seeing next year a reduced roster, if you will. If we win against the Patriots of all teams, I think we're in the playoffs. And we win, but we're not. That is crazy. 10-7 is not good enough in the NFC right now to win a playoff spot. The Washington Commanders steal the spot from us. It is now 5 seasons in a row without a playoff berth. As much as this is an improvement, unless the numbers look really good on offense, we are probably going to be switching the Chiefs because this team should have made the playoffs multiple times by now, let alone 0 times. Looking at the win-loss, to see if we actually lost to the Commanders, probably a pretty good chance that we did at some points. We beat them the first time. We lost the second. If we would have won that game, not only would we have had the extra win in general, but we would have had the sweep on them in the division, which would have given us a bonus if we lost to someone else. But let's take a look at the numbers anyways. Cleary looks like his best season yet, I would argue. McQueen, definitely his best season yet. Almost a 4.0 yards per carry or more. Neighbors should go up to X Factor, which would be great. Smith, not great. Hyatt, pretty good. Theo Johnson, not the best. This is the Bengals' scheme on offense. Blocking, especially for Neal, was great. Pass rush, 20 sacks between the two, if you combine them. Interceptions, a couple of guys with some, 4+ numbers. Dicker is the new kicker. Gillen was bad, not as good, but he was still pretty good in general. And we might have been able to sneak away in an award or two. Let's see if that happened. McCarthy was the MVP. Anything at all. Anything at all. Wide receiver all the way at number 5, apparently. We got best linebacker again, I suppose. That's about it, though. And once again, no playoffs. The Buccaneers win over the Raiders in the Super Bowl. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups, hoping for Neighbors. And that's exactly who we get, which is amazing. Quarterback still not dev'd up, unfortunately, but Malik Neighbors, who has a 7-year deal on the team for $140 million, which is a steal, is now an X Factor. Okereke goes to X Factor. Thibodeau goes to X Factor. Banks goes to Superstar. No dev up for Stoudemire, who went up 1 whole overall on the season, which is just horrible. Just horrible stuff. But we did get a couple of dev ups, which were nice. Okereke is an 85 overall. Yes, he's X Factor, but definitely regressing hard. And unless we can get him on like a Super Steal, don't even know if we have the money for him anyways. But speaking of, Rashard Smith needs a 5th-year option. Not going to do it. Bayer, we're going to have to let go. He's just a cap casualty. Okereke, kind of a cap casualty, but also just a regression casualty. As, our money isn't in the best spot. Dicker, I would like to keep, if we can. 2-year 10. I mean, I'm not paying more than $5 million per year for a kicker. I don't see myself spending money in free agency since we're so up against it, but just in case, we'll take a look. Jalen Carter would be great, but too expensive. Elton Jenkins, Snead, Elijah Vera Tucker, all these guys, they're good players. It's just, we don't have the money. We just simply don't have the money. We're going to have to draft a new linebacker, and it's going to continue to become a problem as we're entering year 6 after this draft. But we'll see who we need to replace going forward to kind of try and get ahead of this thing. It's going to become a problem with all these names. So it shows Smith, but that's just for now. We probably could look a little more in-depth for team salaries just to make sure that we're not going to be completely screwed over the following season. We're entering uncharted territories for this Madden. So we obviously have the quarterback. Thomas needs a contract kind of soon. So Smith, Hyatt, obviously Hyatt will be probably gone. Hunter, the cornerback, that's definitely a thing. So corner might be on our list, even though we have Ratliff. Bigby, maybe we trade off Foley. So O-line, linebacker, and, outside of that, we're okay, actually, for another season after. And the Falcons want to offer me this tight end Elton Johnson, with a bunch of draft picks. I mean, Bigby needs a contract. I'm willing. I don't even care if that guy's like a blocking tight end. I'll take the depth. I really don't care. All right, we are at pick 18 in the draft. I'm not even sure what we want. We were talking about, future-proofing some of those positions, but not necessarily like what you have to get. What about Ricky Mellon? Ricky Mellon, how are you, Ricky Mellon? Not really the move. It is smart to look at some of the players you didn't even have on your list because, well, sometimes players last longer than you would have thought. Brian Rudd, maybe one of them. Really not the fastest at 5'8", though. Do I maybe go safety? Brackett looks pretty good with his hit power. Might be a move. 22 years old, though, so it's like the other guy we have now, Stoudemire, is 23, so you're really getting much out of that. You have Darrell Jackson in the second round. I mean, do I not just take that corner? I mean, it's like we've been taking corner every single year, though. You know what? I'm not sure what I want. I'm going to take this trade from the Buccaneers. They're going from 32 to 18 and giving us a first next year. That is a crazy amount of value we're getting, and we might still land a safety with that pick. So, obviously, I think the value is there, and that's the spot I'm willing to trade down to. We have a bunch of wide receivers. I don't know how many of them I would even consider draftable. What do we got? We have cornerback Copper, who's still there, and we have the safeties Brackett and Garner. Garner, anyways, is 6'3". What about Copper? Copper's 6'3", too. I'm going to take Copper, I think. The value is there. Maybe get him at safety. If not, corner, and he is hidden dev, so good selection. Can't complain about it, especially since we gained that first round next year on top of it. And somehow, some of those 1 to 2 wide receivers are still there. Any of the safeties? No. It's a linebacker, O-line, and then technically kind of corner, but we're expecting to re-sign Hunter, the X-Factor corner. But we do have some wide receiver options here, which are definitely intriguing, as we're going to be needing to replace Jalen Hyatt next season. I'm going Lance Weston. That speed's crazy. Hidden Dev on top of the speed is really insane. And then we go to the next round, make sure we have some linemen. I've been going to the next pick so many times, we miss out on someone on the offensive line, so I think we're going to slow Simon until we're down to probably Kiesel and Elam, or, whoever's remaining of those two. All right, we have our choice here. Neither went. I think Elam, who is a little bit taller, is going to be our choice. He's also 21. And Hidden Dev. We might be making multiple trade-ups. 2 fourths, 1 mid, 1 late to move up to this spot with the Ravens. And then I should have maybe just traded with the damn Dolphins. But either way, we're going to be landing a linebacker, Claiborne. And I think it might be worth trading up for the remainder of these 2 linemen. They both look good, so I'd be willing to, wait until one's left. And Claiborne's a Hidden Dev. He might actually be a starter already. Cox was, decent enough probably to start, but we'll see. In a weird twist of fate, we still end up trading with the Dolphins. Now that I'm thinking about it, we definitely overtraded for that Ravens pick, but I just wanted that pick desperately, and I didn't know what it was going to take, so I kind of just went a little crazy with it. And Barn is going to be the guy. Jared Byron, welcome. Hidden Dev, easy. Pretty much forced to just replace linemen, and thankfully it's not the hardest thing to do. Holy lag on that. And I don't know who this guy is, Braylon Barnett. He's just been here every single time. He's just going to be the guy I draft. Normal Dev, I don't care, he's 6th-rounder. That was supposed to go in the 2nd. Here we go. Let's see how that future-proofing draft had turned out. 77, 76, 74, 75, 71. Some pretty damn good players, actually. Copper, the 77 overall. Larry Copper. With those ratings, that's feeling like a Deontay Banks replacement at some point. We obviously got a pretty cheap deal on him, so we ended up going with a long-term deal, but his ceiling doesn't seem to be super great. Start Ev for Larry Copper. He could make his way into the starting lineup, very soon. Weston, he's going to be wide receiver 3 no matter what. Jalen Hyde, I don't even know if we're going to trade him off or just let him go, but look at how good this player looks. He is really good. Even has great injury stamina and decent toughness. He has all the catching traits. This guy is very good. Not bad at all. What's that Dev looking like? Star Dev. If it was any higher than that, I would have been very shocked because he is already really good just with the knowledge we know. Left guard, he's an offensive lineman, doesn't really matter too much. Claiborne, though, automatic starter. Number 2 with all that hit power in the world as well. He's a really good-looking player. Automatic number 2 middle linebacker, I think, with a dev of... He is good! Oh, he is... he's going to be the number 1 at some point. He is 100% going to be. We also got a 97 kick power punter, and then Mr. Irrelevant had 89 throw power. So it appeared that I drafted the wrong punter. Holy crap. His kick power kind of sucks, but 85 overall. I just don't need him, so I'm not going to sign him, but that's crazy. Here we go for Season 6. My league neighbors, the 94 overall X Factor. Smith, the 88 overall wide receiver 2. Definitely need to look into tight end, though, I think, going forward. He's 27, him being Theo Johnson, of course. He's good. He's actually pretty good at, as a pure receiver, but... his overall is a little lower than I'd like. McQueen, how old is he now? 26? 25. Man, he is not looking too bad. Power back. Obviously kind of expected it, but thought maybe there'd be a little bit more of a balance there. And then defensively, obviously, Claiborne's the new number 2. Stoudemire, we need that dev up, please. Oh, okay. I didn't think we were going to be this screwed. 23 mil left and some big names. Obviously, you keep the wide receiver because that's the hardest position to find. Corner, though, losing Richard Hunter would be such a loss. So I'm not sure what we're going to do here. But I definitely want the wide receiver. And 8 mil left to pay Hunter. We got to find a way. We need Hunter back for sure. Everyone else, I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. But we need Hunter back for sure. There we go. Stoudemire, Star Dev, 5K XP, not bad. Change to the Chiefs playbook, and things have changed. We are in the playoffs, finally, and we get a bye week. We were twice as good as the next team in this division. The Eagles at 7-10, the Commanders at 7-10, and the Cowboys at 5-12. Obviously, things have changed quite a bit. We obviously have seen new names come along for each team, I imagine, and while we keep getting better and better, some other teams might be getting worse and worse. Of course, I barely found a way to pay Hunter. I released one of the players that was making a little more than the rest, but we're now down to 900K. It's not good. It's not good. We might be screwed, but Cleary anyways, is probably going to win MVP. McQueen at his best year yet by a mile. The receivers outside of Neighbors, actually not bad. Weston also played pretty good. Blocking, it's okay. It's not bad. Thibodeau didn't change the defensive scheme, though. out of nowhere, 20.5. Burns, 11.5. The interior is still kind of iffy. Newbin, really good stuff there. Bass, meh. Punter, he's okay. And that's basically it there. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. MVP, well, it was one. In fact, probably best quarterback as well, I imagine. Number 2 for running back. Number 4 for wide receiver. O-line at number 6. D-line, no. Linebacker for sure, number 1 and 3. Best DB is at number 6 and 7. Kicker, not on the list. What about O-line? Or, not O-line. Defensive Rookie of the Year, number 2. Of course, already an X Factor anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the X Factor playoffs, I don't know what I'm saying here. The playoffs with a first-round bye. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I like to see. We've got the Detroit Lions. Let's see if we can win a Super Bowl. We're 92. They're a 90 overall. We're very high overall. So are they, though. It's raining at home. Of course, if there was any team that would be also really high overall that's not a user team, it would be this Lions team. They've drafted very well lately. Definitely drafted very well. I wonder who their quarterback is, though, as we see ourselves in a 0-0 game into the second quarter, deep into it, as it'll be 3-all at halftime, 6-3 now. This rain game is definitely affecting both sides. 13-3, 13-6. One score of any from us would win us the game, and it's not a pretty one, but we're going to win and head to the championship round, beating the Lions 20-6. Looking at the quarterback, our MVP did play pretty well despite the lack of scoring. Rushing was okay. Blocking, or block shedding, I should say. Lawrence 2.5. 2 for Mitchell, the rookie. Hutchinson with 1.5. Burns with 1.5. Diggs with 0.5. No interceptions, and we also missed a field goal. But good enough to make the championship run. That's what matters. Here we go. The next round, the Packers, 88 overall. So, I mean, the Giants have had some success, like the Niners, against the Packers in the playoffs. So, let's see if it can continue. I think it showed the Chargers were the team that we would have to play if we won this game. 7-0, also way more scoring than the last one. Obviously, the weather's way better. Still, obviously cold. How the hell was it even raining, actually, now that I think about it? What was the weather? It was like just above freezing. 28-18, one more score from us would win it. The Packers aren't going to go away, though, but an amazing drive. It wasn't perfect, but a very good drive allowed us to really eat that clock, and the Packers could not come back. 31-25 is the score that will send this Giants team finally back to the Super Bowl. Like I said, I think it's the Chargers. Let's see if it actually is. It is the Jaguars. I don't know why I said I think. No, I thought it did show that they lost to the Chargers. I don't even know. But regardless of the point, let's see. 8-9. We're doomed. We're doomed. The Jaguars are going to real life that one Super Bowl year, the Giants us. Like, super wildcard team making it all the way. But some great dev ups here. As you can see, Theo Johnson went up in dev. Obviously, Cleary was going to go up in dev. And then a huge dev up for McQueen, who is now superstar dev. Beautiful stuff. Theo Johnson, that does help him out quite a bit, actually, as well. He's now an 86 overall. Very, not really Darren Waller-like, but very Darren Waller-like. That's really what I can say there. And then defensively, any dev ups. Claiborne, we already knew. I don't think any dev ups on defense. Sotomayor obviously got a breakout for his. But here it is for all the marbles. 8-9 Jaguars team. Are they going to pull off one of the craziest runs ever? Going up against those Jaguars. Even though they're the Jaguars. 7-0. This is like the first deficit we faced. Come on. Don't let him do it to us. 8-9, right? Oh, we threw a pick. We got a field goal before half. It's a 10-7 game. 17-7. One more score from us would do it. But looking like this is going to be the opposite. Is they're going to cut back a 10-point lead. And thankfully the defense stops them. Nice drive down the field. 3rd and 13. Is this at least a field goal attempt? 55 yards for Tyler Bass. Please do not take away the B from your name. Thank you. Oh, huge rushing touchdown, though. I mean, maybe a blessing in disguise, depending on how we play this. Huge drives. Got to be a touchdown. You got to have it. 4th and 11. I'm coming in. You have got to have it. This is crazy. Theo is huge. Let's see what we got. And we're in trouble. It's a dot! And he holds on! What a throw! That was an unbelievable play. Of course, going to let the AI finish this out. They could have gotten on 4th and 11. I can't believe that. Might be one of the clutchest throws I've had in the history of Madden. And they do not get the field goal. And the Giants are going to win a Super Bowl. You could say, oh, you gotta come in and win the game for them. It was one throw. It wasn't a 4th and 40 conversion. It was 4th and 11, which is tough. Don't get me wrong. But even that was very lucky. It wasn't like a freebie win. I mean, you look at that play, I don't even know how he completed that. That was an unbelievably clutch play that won us the game. MVP, potentially Super Bowl MVP on top of it. I don't know how the score was had. If it was a passing touchdown, probably. But if not, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. It might have been too many turnovers. Someone else might have stolen it. We'll obviously have to see. Looking like the trophy has no engravings. They smoothed that bad boy down, and it just looks like a generic trophy. But the Giants, with Cleary, have won a Super Bowl. Obviously, we still have a few more years left in us. Actually, quite a bit of years. I think we have, like, what? 4 more years, technically? It's 4 more years. Let's take a look at the stats, though. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, who just got paid, did not really do super well. Cleary was good enough. McQueen was terrible, though, I gotta say. Weston clutched up. Smith had some plays. 4 sacks for Josh Allen. I mean, that's MVP right there if the Jaguars would have won, without a doubt. Maybe even argue he still should have won MVP, even though the Jaguars lost. I wonder, like, obviously it just makes no sense to do that, but, like, if somebody put up, like, the ultimate game and the other side just got really lucky on fumbles or something and they were spread out between different players, would they not give MVP to someone else? Like, let's say a quarterback put up 600 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but lost, and the other team didn't have anything near that. Would you not still just give him MVP? Like, you can't, because it's like, yeah, he didn't really win, though. But either way, we've won a Super Bowl, and there is still many years to come. Let's see if we can win ourselves another one. First things first, though, I want to see how broke we are. Please tell me we at least have $5 million to get some backups on this team for the next upcoming season. Any retirements? $3 million. Improvement. Let's take a look if there are any names here. All backups, obviously. All those guys got to win a ring or an extra ring, perhaps. Didn't really see any guys that I could think of that would have won a ring before this year. But, hey, costing the league more money for those rings, even though it would have been filled by some player on the league, in the NFL, if not them. But yeah, $3 million, not a lot. We lose a lineman. We do not lose a safety because he needs a 5th-year option. But looking at 5th-year options-wise, I mean, there's not really much going on forward. Gonna lose the punter and the kicker, too. We are broke. I don't know if there's anyone we can get rid of that is going to save some money, but this is where doing the anything past 5 years is a little tricky. You lose players, and it sucks, but that's just the way it goes. Oh, all of a sudden we have $19 million. That is amazing. I don't care. I'm not like butthurt that we lost a center or anything. I just like the fact that we're not super screwed. But looking at some of these names, there's some really good players. Like, this guy's unbelievable. That guy looks unbelievable. Look at that break tackle. 98 break tackle, 99 ball carrier vision. I actually kind of want to see this guy now. That's kind of crazy for juke moves. Release isn't great, but yeah, I mean, kind of, wow, injury sucks. Giving me poor man Odell vibes, I guess, sort of. What about James Evans? 93 overall X Factor in 98 finesse move. Pretty absurd stuff. We don't hate it. We don't hate it, but obviously we're not going to pay anybody there. Wyatt Teller's still viable, so, going for him would not have been the worst thing. But 32nd overall, never felt so good. Pick 32. If we're talking about future-proofing, D-line is kind of the need. O-line sort of, but we've been kind of drafting like 1 or 2 a year, and we've been getting away with it that way. Wow, that quarterback, the value could be immense. They're just taking him, but we just don't need that position that badly. So D-line if possible. Lindsey is a 2 to 3. Safety, Boston looks pretty good as a 2 to 3 as well, and we really have no 1 to 2, so I'm going to try to move this to like pick 15 in the second round or something and work from there. We're not really getting that with the Rams, but 49, I suppose. Maybe I shouldn't be quick simming this. Yeah, we'll find someone. Once again, we're just future-proofing anyways. None of these guys are like must-have players that we can't lose, and all the players are still there anyways, which is great. Also, there was a 6'9". Did I miss him? Where is he? 6'9" wide receiver that actually looks good as well. Not just the fact that he's tall. He actually looks really good. I think by just how insane he is, I have no choice but to grab him. But I think Kendrick Lindsey, pure value-wise with the age, is going to be our pick. Our first one. Sadly, normal dev. Okay, not my favorite. Safety is not really a huge need, but at the same time, if we end up finding out that we can't afford Stoudemire, we kind of need to have a backup plan. And that is going to be my backup plan, is grabbing... Okay, thank you. Is grabbing a safety now, which so far so good. They're still there. We trade a 6th-round pick to move up, and with that, we're going to be taking the strong safety Ramsey. Once again, future-proofing a bit. I talked about, going for that 6'9" wide receiver. We have a lot less like draft picks than I thought, so I don't think that's going to happen. But Bill Ramsey, he is 22, so the future proofing's a little bit lessened, but looks good to me. And he's in dev. That's a win. I want to see that 6'9" wide receiver, but yeah, I can't trade up for him. We just don't have the capital, and it's not really a need. O-line, I really don't know much about either, but I think Matthews, based on the fact that he is an A pass block, is the guy I'm willing to take a shot on more. And he's in dev. And the wide receiver McLean is still there. 5'11", decently fast, and he had that A catch, so I'm willing to grab him. Normal dev. He's UDFA, but he has a couple of A grades. We're going to grab him. Sam Maleki or Malachi, but unfortunately, not going to be a good pick. All the 6th-round picks in the world. Oh, no. Norris, he looks okay, but, 23 years old as a running back. I know that's kind of the age you're going to get this late in the draft, but not a huge fan of the names I'm seeing here. Not the best of age or speed or anything like that. Why not? Philip Young. Philip no more. And Mr. Irrelevant is a quarterback with hidden dev. 88 throw power. He's 23, but hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It doesn't matter probably, but that's pretty cool. I'm going to take a look at that Pearson fella because I'm not really sure who we can afford to keep or who we're even keeping longer than a year. Most of our guys here weren't the... What? What do you mean? Huh? What do you mean pick... It's just glitching out, huh? Right? I think? But this cousin, did we have... Wait, were the Buccaneers the first overall pick and I just skipped it? Oh, no. I forgot we made that trade. How was I supposed to know we'd have the first pick overall? I am so confused. Some of you guys are probably watching this like, what is he doing? Please tell me there wasn't generational players available. Oh, no. It's my mistake. I'm not going to rectify it. That is insane, the amount of really good players that we potentially lost. But hey, at least we didn't Browns it. We didn't grab a 23-year-old, 65 overall, 86 speed wide receiver in the first round. I was like, what do you mean? Wait, how do we have pick 1 overall? Why were the Giants the first pick overall? I was not expecting that. That threw me off so hard. I was actually genuinely so confused just now. I was like, huh? Is it glitching out? Nope, I glitched out. I forgot we had 2. Well, it's not like I forgot we had 2 first-round picks. I just didn't assume that would have been our pick. I would have, I always go to next pick because, that's likely what's going to take us to our first draft pick. That's kind of crazy. I want to see this wide receiver, though. Where is he? There he is. 75 overall. He's a hidden dev. What in the... And he doesn't have aggressive catch. What monstrosity is this? This guy's insane at catch, and he's young as hell, and he's 6'9", and he's a superstar. What just happened this draft? Season 7 coming after a Super Bowl win. Obviously, money is probably our biggest concern right now. We're obviously losing linemen here and there and some other players on defense, like Okereke we lost like a season or 2 ago. But overall, we have done a pretty good job of keeping this team intact. Age, thankfully, hasn't been that big of a problem yet either, even for someone like Brian Burns, who would have been someone that I thought was going to be a bigger problem regressing, but not yet. And we still have technically 4 seasons left, including this one, so it might become a factor. But overall, I like the way things have gone so far. Obviously, finally winning that Super Bowl is amazing, but in general, just, the team has been put together and is able to stay together is more than I thought it was going to be. Personally, I don't know. It's just... I thought we were going to struggle a little more than this, and it's only finally not really affecting us, and I'm getting really sad. It's not bad. I bought a, what is that called? A temperature gauge just for this room because it gets so damn hot in here and very, dry. It's 82 degrees in here on average when I'm recording. It's crazy. It is crazy. Obviously, I'm going to have to put the air on tomorrow because it's going to be a hot one in Wisconsin. I think it's going to be 88 tomorrow, 92 on Monday. And technically, I say tomorrow, but it's 12 a.m. right now. So technically, it's today, Sunday. This weather in June, illegal, honestly. Where is the police when you need them? They just never help. Ooh, look at this. X-Factor quarterback. All right, let's see. Oh, no. Please. Okay, this is already bad enough. Seeing Peter Serra there and Wallace. Fair enough. It's a lineman. Another lineman, fair enough. Stoudemire, and the price is so fair. Ellerby's cheap as well. Top weight. We have to pay Thomas, Neal, Ellerby, Stoudemire, Pearson, Sarah, and Wallace, and we're already in the negative? Okay, we made a mistake somewhere. All right? I'll be honest. We made a mistake somewhere. I don't know where that mistake was, but it is very much so alive. Remember all this stuff I said to start the season? Yeah, forget anything. There is a chance at another bye week. Let's see if we achieved it. We did. There you go. 13-4. Beautiful stuff. Let's take a look at the seasonal win-loss. Losing the Chiefs, Commanders, and Eagles and Chargers. But still good enough in the NFC to get the first round bye. Which is great, because that's how we won the Super Bowl last time. It obviously means one less game you have to play. And Cleary might have won MVP again. McQueen, the 20 touchdowns. X-Factor, probably. Rashad Smith, maybe X-Factor. Johnson was pretty good. Neighbors and Weston. I still don't know the combination or the depth chart lineup to get a wide receiver getting the most in the numbers. Like, I don't know if it's like he needs to be number 2 or number 3 in the slot. And then number 2, it's a nightmare. Some of the other schemes, it's like, okay, you put him at number 1 wide receiver and slot. And they do really well, but I don't think that's how that works for him. Peterson finally, or for the Chiefs scheme anyways, finally does something. Really disappointed, though, that we look to be losing a lot of our players. Thomas, one of them. I mean, like, I expect to be like, okay, we can't afford Thomas, but no, we can't afford anyone. Man, this is definitely a drop-off. Quarterback best for the NFC, which we love to see. Yeah, this talent's going to continue to get worse on this team, so we kind of need to make a count this year more than any other year, as we did kind of so far, as it's going to be the divisional round. Automatically, the Bears, who have had Caleb Williams win a few MVPs now, I think, will be our first opponent with a 7 overall deficit. Going to the end of the game. 3-0, 7-3, 10-7, 10-10, 17-10. It looks like a turnover caused it. Banks with a pick. Ooh, not looking good for them. 31-10, and it looks like it's going to be a win. 38-17, smoking up the Bears. No touchdowns for Caleb, but he threw a pick. Cleary was amazing. McQueen was pretty good. Theo was great. Got to say, for a moment I was thinking, you know, Theo is needing to be replaced like right now. But he actually turned it around quite a bit with that Chiefs scheme. It's just busted if you need a tight end to develop. I still can't get over the fact that we had the first pick overall and I had no idea. Like, here's the thing. How was I supposed to know? Other than, like, just looking at the screen. You know, that would be a great start. But I did not expect the Buccaneers to throw away pick number 1 overall just to move up 10 spots in the draft. Going to the end of the game. 3-0. 3-3. Still 3-3. Still 6-3. And finally a touchdown. At least it's on our side. They get a touchdown back, though. And all the opportunities in the world. We finally get the score. Looks like it's going to be their ball, and they are moving. 4th and 1, they're going to get the field goal. This gives us a chance. Drive it down. Get the touchdown with 50 seconds left. Can the Seahawks do it? They cannot. The Giants are headed back to the Super Bowl. Back-to-back years. Not a great performance, but definitely better than Ritter. And a good performance in general. McQueen was really bad, though. Don't know what it is with him. I mean, he's still developing, so, I mean, he's still got time. Coleman missing a kick. Probably pretty massive there. To the Super Bowl. It was against the Browns. I mean, that's a winnable game. It says we have 15 mil. I don't think that's true, but if it is true, we might be able to save someone. I don't remember who it was that we were kind of thinking maybe we could have saved or wanted to save. It's a lot. Oh, yeah, Stoudemire. That's absolutely who I want to save if I can. Smith does go to X Factor, it would appear. And then defensively, I think everyone else was already a... Oh, is Stoudemire only star? Stoudemire? I don't know why I said that, but yeah, we need to keep him if possible. Like, we really need to keep him before we let the AI upgrade him. I want to see... Okay, it is zone, so he'll be upgraded. All the Marvels, can we win back-to-back and potentially become a dynasty? Winning back-to-back is basically already a dynasty on its own, but if you win, like, another one within a short span of time, then obviously you're cooking. This dynasty all about you. Going to the end of the game. 0-0. I don't know. It looks like left to right is us. 7-0. Not a bad start. Looking pretty good. 14-0. They get a really nice drive, but it's only for 3. Touchdown would be great. 21-3. Looking good. They're going to keep it alive. They're definitely going to keep it alive. It is a 3-point game. Touchdown would probably win it, though. And that's what happens. I think this is a back-to-backer. And it will be The Giants win back-to-back Super Bowls 28-25, and all that waiting was finally worth it. The Giants are back on top of the NFL world. You know, they had a nice stint of success, you know, winning 2 Super Bowls within like 5 years back in the, you know, the early 2000s. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's early because I was about to say mid-2000s. It's like, it's not really how that works, but early 2000s, I mean, we're back. This Giants team is back. We've already seen this celebration, so let's move along. We're going to see another 3 of them, so, you know, you might as well get that out of your head. Regardless, Cleary, 4 touchdowns, 0 interception. Cleary has been amazing. McQueen, he's been pretty good. Tight end for them. J.J. Hendricks is amazing. Now the focus, though, is and the worry is really about how much are we going to have to replace. I'm nervous. And on the surface, I look still very nervous. Just nervous inside and out. Who are we? Oh, don't tell me that's actually what we're dealing with. Like, I thought we were going to have 15 mil. That was my, like, low point. 15 mil to barely afford anyone. I think the big problem is that this salary cap isn't really raising like it would in real life. That's the big issue. Now, don't get me wrong. This real life last season, you know, the cap exploded. But at the same time, $285 million this many years from the start is crazy. Like, the league is easily looking at 350 plus, right, at this point. But it's only 285. Like, that's crazy. Regardless, I don't see how there's, like, a workaround. You know, we're just stuck. Like, are all these guys, like, already factored in? Like, did we accidentally? No, we're negative 12 mil, and we can't afford anyone. Stoudemire wants a measly 3-year 20. I gotta see if there's something I can do. I gotta see. At least keep the safety. And unfortunately, there's not. You know, every contract that we kind of sign, they're all very guarantee heavy, right? Like, there's not much we can do here. So we're going to be heading in with negative 12 mil after losing like 7 players, most of them starters. That's kind of crazy. Like, we're at 18 mil right now, and that's like what we have to spend for next year. Mahomes is a free agent at 98 overall. Things have gotten a bit out of hand in free agency. I think, like, you look at all these high overalls, this is the result of the cap not increasing high enough. Like, what other explanation is there? There really isn't one. Stoudemire has some offers, but let's see if we can beat them. A 4-year 32, we would have money left over. I mean, it is the highest offer. That's who I really wanted to get back the most. So 11 mil, and we have a lot to replace, especially on the offensive line. Like, what are we looking at right now, team-wise? Like, do we even have enough starters on the offensive line? So we have... Yeah, we're short. So I would say Cross moves to left tackle, and then whoever the heaviest is moves over to right tackle, I guess, or the biggest. Not the worst case, though. Like, we still have, you know, Cousins fills in right away as the left end. We would need a middle linebacker in the draft. And that's kind of really it, but still, we are dropping off in talent. There's no doubt about it. All right, we're pre-draft, and Crutchfield needs a contract. We just can't afford him, honestly. Like, unless we're losing Burns or something like that, I don't think we can afford him going forward. So, going to get rid of him now for someone that's under contract, and we're also going to land a 4th-round pick, I think, with the Jets. Also, another pretty interesting name. Look who's here. Don Drescher. I mean, there's some intrigue, but unfortunately wide receiver is not a big need. So Mike Baldwin, the off-ball linebacker, for Crutchfield, the pass-rushing linebacker. And here it is, pick 32. Once again, we can't really trade up. There's really not... I think picking might have been on my list, but there's not really much room to trade up, unfortunately. Looking at what we need, though, D-end is obviously up there. DT in general. Any other 1 to 2, some corners, but I don't think we need corner just yet. Found a way to pay Hunter, so we're chilling. Safety, unfortunately, is looking really good. And I got to say, unfortunately, because unless we have to pay Nubin, I don't think we need a safety to draft. And once again, it is getting hot in here. 81.1. The mix. Although it kind of looks like Nubbin might need a contract. Nubin. I keep calling him Nubbins because of the freaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But Nubin. Not quite. But I'm still kind of curious to make that play anyways. Do not do that. Grab the best available DT/D interior lineman and then trade up. I don't know. But I like Gregory, so that's who I'm going to take. Mr. Lecambrick Gregory, pretty sick name, super speedy, short, hidden dev. Ironically enough, great safeties when we just paid Stoudemire. It cost us a little bit to get to him as well. DT looks pretty good. Yarbrough, that might be my man. Yarbrough might be my dude. Actually, you know what? We're limited on O-line. I'm going to go Fisher first. Julius Fisher. Hidden dev. There you go. That's our new tackle. Right tackle it is. And I suppose it doesn't matter because I'm going to just trade up with the Broncos, grab that defensive tackle. Don't even really need him just yet, but the value's there. And once again, we're basically against the grain this entire rebuild. Well, not this entire rebuild, but the last 2 seasons. We basically need future-proofing every single season so then we can at least replace a little more. But Eric Yarbrough, please. I had a feeling. I was worried. Didn't get hidden. We are falling apart. Pick 32 in the 3rd, and we're stuck with 2 DTs. Or no, one of them's a corner, actually. I don't know what my vision's like. Nose tackle Pleasant. Could be a replacement for... Yeah, I'm going to take him. Yes! That's what I was hoping for. The value was there. But it could be a replacement for Dexter Lawrence at some point. Didn't really happen with Bigsby. Ended up trading him off, but I'm always in the market of just taking the best available player. And whenever I can do that, I'm going to do it. And I'm throwing some bulk 6-rounders on there for some trade finder action. I don't know who's the weakest and this and that and all that good stuff, but I'm trying to think of, off the top of my head, who I think is not a really good team. Patriots are probably up there. 3 6th-round picks for a 4th round is not bad, especially if that 4th is high. I need to do this more often, though. I like this. A 6 and a 7, get that 5th-round pick. Here we go. 76 overall for the safety. 73, 72, 74. Definitely want to see Pleasant, see if he is a superstar dev type nose tackle. He looks really raw. Normally, the superstar devs are 82 power move or something like that, but yeah, star dev. Not my favorite thing in the world to see, but that's the draft. Take a quick look at the strong safety. Once again, back up for now, but ooh, 80 zone. Yeah, if Nubin needs a contract, or next season if the dead hit isn't that bad, we can get some value off of him maybe. We traded Andrew Phillips for a 5th-round pick. I think that was pretty damn good value, to be honest. I mean, this is literally how broke teams are right now. Corners like Tyson Campbell, Denzel Ward, Sneed. Right ends like Carruthers, who are only 27 years old. I mean, teams can't afford these really good players. It's crazy. It is now Season 8, and we have a very new, lower-level looking offensive line. But with Charles Cross moving back to left tackle, we still at least have a good left tackle. That's all I can really say. The weapons are great. It's just the offensive line's taking a little bit of a hit. And then defensively, new middle linebacker. Defensive end, we need a new left end, sort of. It's still a really good team, though. Could be a 3-peat. I guess the offensive line matters a lot because we are doing really poorly compared to other years. Theo Johnson's actually a really good overall now, but I got to think about it because it's the first time we've had a little bit of money in years, which means we're probably going to be losing more players. Brian Burns wants a 3-year 103. We'll have to see how he's even playing. At most, he gets a 1 year because he is regressing hard. And I would like to keep Dexter Lawrence because our interior of the line has been not perfect by any means. So I'm going to try to keep Dexter in a 2-year. Man, that's just, that is so much money. We're down to 55 mil. And Brian Burns wants more than 30 per. Where does that make any sense for us? I think we just reset with Brian Burns and save some money there. Theo Johnson, I'd rather do a 2-year 30. Boom. 41 mil left, and we'd be replacing left tackle and left outside linebacker. I think we can get away with that. I think we'll be fine. Although at the same time, pass rusher is going to be way harder to replace. I'm going to try to do a Brian Burns 1 year, even though it's so expensive. Yeah, okay, I guess we are going to replace him then. Unlikely chance to make the playoffs, which is going to end our Super Bowl streak. I can't believe that our Super Bowl streak is going to end because we can't make the playoffs. Not because we got beat in the playoffs, but because we can't make them. Sure, we lost a little bit. We're still the best team in the league. There's no question about it. I'm not really sure how we are 7-10. I really don't. There's no way any other team is even sniffing the talent this team has, especially at the skill position. I don't really get how a 93 overall is just missing the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe the Sliders are a little bit too high in general, but we're still the highest of the bunch. Bears versus Browns. We actually have a Browns draft pick. I think it was only a 4th or a 5th, but still. Come on, Bears. Damn, 32nd pick, whatever round that is. We should have a lot of money because we're not keeping Brian Burns. Dev-ups don't appear to be any on offense because there can't really be many on offense. It's really just the quarterback or the running back and then maybe a lineman if you get really lucky. Dev-ups, Stoudemire is an X factor. and no one else goes up in dev. But yeah, Brian Burns, it makes sense to let him go anyways. And then Newbin is also only an 84 overall. So we are likely going to be in a good spot money-wise, but still are rebuilding some of the other positions, obviously. Do we only actually have 18 mil, or is it because we have... Yeah, it's because we have the Brian Burns contract factored in. Okay, so he should have taken that offer in the first place. Now the offer drops. I feel like the banker on Deal or No Deal. You pulled the wrong case. Enjoy poverty, bozo. We'll try to keep him for one more year, even though we sucked last year. I mean, I guess it keeps the window open. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but you know what? That actually is true. He is probably going to get paid in free agency by somebody. Didn't realize some of the other names that were here. A lot of, like, solid backups, but no other actual starters. Moody was okay, but, like, I don't really care too much, to be honest. Gomez, a running back. Cornerback, that's a fifth-year option. Charles Cross is way too expensive. Like, that is just... Okay, the game's not even registering that we have money because, you know, Brian Burns' contract is just apparently, like, there. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go to free agency. You win. How about that, EA? You effing win. We have 26. Okay, maybe they're wrong. They're not wrong. Or maybe we got screwed because I don't know how we have no money. Like, we were able to offer Brian Burns $36 million on a year and didn't get it. Did they just siphon our money? Did we offer the 1 year 20? He didn't take it, but he still took it? Is that what I'm seeing here? Like, that seems like what just happened. Am I wrong? I feel like that's literally what just happened. I don't know, but Charles Cross isn't getting any offers because everyone's broke, so I'm going to offer him something low, and if he takes it, we could actually set ourselves up nicely for the future. I'm going to do a 2 year 32, which even then is not low. It's just compared to what he's actually asking for, it's really low. And there goes Seattle trying to get Charles Cross back, and they will. Pick 10 in the draft. I mean, it's pretty obvious that we need a pass rusher. We have a couple of options. 3 of them, really. We have Roberts, we have Hernandez, we have Greenfield and Green. I don't know who the best is. Roberts, not the fastest, but he has some pretty good key ratings, obviously, looking really good. Then you have Hernandez, who looks a little bit worse, but I believe he is more athletic. You know, don't really know that finesse or power move, but looks good. And then, of course, we see, was it Weber? I think his name is. Looks really good as well. 6'3", 266. I can't remember what his athleticism was. Good enough, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think we need to trade up because worst case scenario, we end up with Weber. And I don't mind that. So whoever we get here at 10 is A-okay in my book. Let's see if that book is filled with a hidden development trait player. Hernandez is there. He's got athleticism. He has 2 B+ ratings. Block shot's a little iffy, but he's athletic. I like these types. I'm going to go for him. And he's in depth. That's a win. Now, hear me out. We don't need a pass rusher, technically. But Thibodeau is probably not the youngest guy in the world anymore. And more importantly, Weber still being there is immense value. So I'm going to go with Sherrard Weber. Weber, who is also hidden, surprisingly only 80 speed. I get he's a 4.74, but the left side said good speed. So I would assume some of them are like 81, 82. We now move on to the 3rd round. Who else do we need to replace? I'm going to make sure, because we have a lot of really good players here. It's just, I don't know exactly. Like, I know we need an offensive lineman for sure. So that is probably going to be what we take. But was there any other positions? And the answer was technically no. We are falling behind a little bit on that whole quote-unquote future-proofing. Is that Greg Olsen? Yeah, it is. Thing that we always talk about. But we're holding up just enough. Oh, there's also a tight end. Yeah, we're going to go Corey Coleman. I don't know a whole lot about him. I just know he has an A impact, and that's, with that size and strength, good enough for me. And thankfully he is hidden. Automatic right tackle, I suppose, even though he's a little bit like on the lower athleticism side. But strong, though. What else do we have? Any linebackers? Would love a linebacker. Not going to see it. Another pass rusher? Why not just get crazy with it? A power move. Yeah, I was about to say almost always hidden dev. Probably a superstar, even. The value is there. That's who I'd see. Hake. Good look for a running back. It is now 82 degrees in here. It is catching up to me. Corner. He's 6'5", actually. I almost didn't grab him, but yeah, 6'5", 100%. Hidden dev. There you go. Could be a superstar. We have got some value. And if one of those running backs is there and they're hidden, talk about a hell of a draft, let me tell you. Let me tell you, one of the running backs is there. Singleton actually does look pretty good, but what about Buckner? 21 years old, not that fast, does have the A trucking. Then we move on to Singleton now, who I believe was a little bit on the faster side. 4.43. I don't think you can beat him. Normal dev, but that's all right. We got ourselves a backup running back. And you know what? We're going to go for another running back. This one's a little bit of a different style. 4.2, 3.2 speedy guy. He's smaller, too. Why not? And I found a random hidden dev corner. You know, normally at this point in the draft, I kind of just either trade down picks or grab random players that normally don't, reach the radar. But he had a little bit of zone. I was like, hey, maybe he's a future safety. Worked out. Let's see it. 74, 76, 73, 73, 71, 70, 71. Okay, definitely want to take a look at this pass rushers. Mr. Hernandez definitely fits better as an outside linebacker. 81 finesse, not bad to start. See if we can land some goated dev, and he just replaces Burns 101. Not going to be the case. Let's take a look at Weber, who is really slow, I must admit. Really slow. He's not bad, really strong, but very, very slow. Left outside linebacker for him. Dev. See if we can see something crazy. Star Dev. Okay. Sullivan's probably going to be super slow. I'm going to take a quick look real quick anyways. He'll be our right outside linebacker. We got a lot of depth. Just a lot of star. Right? A lot of star Dev. Which his Dev is... No, actually only star. Okay, fair enough. And yeah, we're not really getting much starters out of the other players, so it is what it is. Here we go for Season 9. Really disappointing to go back-to-back Super Bowl wins and then right into a loss. The team obviously is looking worse and worse each year, but we've been able to at least replenish each player that we have lost with someone with high potential in the future going down the line. Some of our guys are kind of at their peak level right now, so I kind of want to take a quick look at like Neighbors, who's a 99 overall. He's only 28 actually, so we're actually kind of chilling for now. But yeah, he looks amazing. Kind of look at McQueen, who's now probably 28 himself, unfortunately. Yeah, also 28. I mean, it took so long to develop him into a good running back, and he's going to just start regressing already. It sucks. It really sucks, but what can you do? Rashard Smith, really good short, medium route guy with great release and catching. I mean, he's not a great deep threat guy, but at 6'5", he is literally the ultimate short route man. He will dominate. Of course, clearly, clearly his deep accuracy isn't great, play action isn't great, but everything else is literally almost maxed. Really good guy outside of the deep accuracy, which, I mean, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's not great. Theo Johnson, very athletic with good catching. And we'll take a quick look at Thibodeau on defense, I think, is kind of the main man I'd want to see from this team. Everyone else is either regressed below or just gone. But yeah, this is down in the last 2 seasons. See if we can win another. 2 Super Bowls out of 10 years is not terrible. But it'd be nice if we can make it 4 out of 10. That'd be a really good percentage, like amazing. Can we have a re-signing period that isn't just completely disastrous? Is this that re-sign? Of course, wide receiver is going to be a cap casualty at this point. Banks probably a casualty. O-line, we're going to actually keep Elam because the price is not bad. Byron probably going to be gone. Copper might be the replacement for Banks, to be honest. And then Peterson, I might need to keep. I really wish I would have got a dev up, but I might need to keep him because our D-line is definitely falling apart. But we'll see what kind of money we have after we sign the obvious choices like Claiborne and... who the hell was the other guy? I've already forgot. Did he not say? Okay, he did. Thibodeau. That's the one. Well, we're back at the playoffs, mainly because our division is pretty bad, but also because we went 9-8. I was about to say 10-7, but nope, 9-8. Yeah, it was because our division sucked. Let's be real there. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, the team is, once again, getting worse every season, but there's no way other teams are keeping up with the cap better than we are. Like, they've got to be very similar, if not worse, because we've been pretty much with the same skill positions for the last, 5+ years. And when you can do that, because they're such high levels, high overalls, I mean, you've got to be looking pretty good, right? Cleary was great. McQueen was pretty good. The receivers were pretty good, mainly, wide receiver 1/2 and, the tight end. But still a good team effort there. Offensive line was pretty bad, I will admit. Maybe the O-line does matter. I mean, is this a 10-year Giants rebuild, or is this really just the longest does offensive line overall matter experiment? Because I mean, I'm kind of getting the best of both worlds here, if you will. We got Rookie of the Year with Hernandez, which is great, and Thibodeau wins best linebacker again, which he's done 3 or 4 times now, which is amazing. We ended up giving that 3-year 75 as well. So we have about 20 mil left. We're losing a few players, but overall it's not as bad as some of the other years we've had. We go to the end of the game. It's been a little while since we've been to the playoffs. Do we even know how to do it? Apparently not. It's almost a scoreless first half, but the Vikings, unfortunately, take away that chance. 7-3, 10-7 now. 10 all. Not the Vikings. Anyone but the Vikings. It's going to be overtime. That's not good. They get the touchdown. Oh, but they don't get the extra point, and we win. Wow, they sold. Their kicker sold. Who'd have thought the Vikings would have been knocked out because of kicking issues? Jefferson's still going strong, looking really good with 180 yards. Turner, 3.5 sacks. Dexter Lawrence with 2. Geno Stone with a pick. And their kicker, Joe Hitchens, the youngster, misses an extra point, ending their season. That must suck. That would be hard to swallow. That is what I said. To the divisional round. Let's see what we got cooking up. And it is a Lions matchup, which actually was the team we lost to like near the end, I believe. They're 92 overall. Man, maybe there are teams managing better than us. I don't know how. I physically don't know how, but they are. There's got to be something with players declining contracts that is siphoning money, because how are AIs keeping together a higher or similar overall to a user? I don't see how that's possible. We draft better. We make better decisions. Yeah, here they are. I don't know. The only real bad decision we had this entire rebuild for drafting is when I didn't realize we had the first pick overall. But even then, he's starting for us right now. And wow, I got to say, this is a really ass showing from the offense in the second half. That really is not okay. The scoring summary, we gave up a safety. We gave up more points while on offense than scored in the second half. That is absurd. Wow. Okay, this kind of feels like the beginning of the end, and it's just choking me up inside. It's not that the fact that it's 83 degrees in here now. It's funny because before I got that cheap little thermometer, I was like, man, I am just a little weenie, huh? Can't even like speak without, kind of choking up a little bit because of the dryness. I'm like, it's not that bad. Okay, it was pretty bad. At least now I know. Got the Cardinals and the Dolphins in the Super Bowl D winner. Got to be the Cardinals, right? A new team. New face. It's the Cardinals. All right, fair enough. We have about 15 plus mil. Overalls are going to drop a little bit. The team, talent is going to drop a little bit. Almost 99 for both wide receivers and the quarterback, which is amazing. Johnson drops a little bit, which is unfortunate at the beginning and the end, like we talked about. And then Banks, obviously, we're replacing with Copper. Maybe we find someone in the draft as well. I'm not sure. And Peterson, I gave a 2-year 32 to, and to be honest, it's feeling like a bad decision. Gregory, did he go Bendev? He wasn't superstar, was he? I ended up starting him over Newbin because we knew Newbin was going to be gone. So I figured the smart move would be to, start him now. And if he actually went up in dev, that would be the ultimate smart decision because Newbin never even went to superstar dev. So that's kind of impressive. And, okay, maybe not. Was he already... When did he get superstar? I'm dumb. Unless he was already superstar. And I can't remember. I don't think he was, though. Or maybe I drafted him and just didn't check. Because I would remember his dev. I think that might be what the case. What happened is I didn't actually look. Either way, final chance here for re-signings. 15 mil. Lance Weston, Deontay Banks, Byron Cousins is a 5th-year option. Talk. And the rest are all kind of like backups. But for the most part, we're intact for the first time in like the last 3 seasons. Sort of. Obviously, for a while now, we've only been looking at free agency just to see the names there, as we obviously can't afford any of the players that have been here. But obviously, even though he's 34, some really good players like Herbert are there. AJ Terrell are still really good. Davidson, that was actually a guy that was a part of the draft of our wide receivers, so that's pretty impressive. That's interesting to see. Impressive that we were able to keep our guy, and our guy's almost a 99, while that guy's only a 98, never got higher than superstar. Weston is in there, and obviously you have Banks, but center is gone as well. More O-line, and maybe a corner. That's really the big concerns. Linebacker as well, I suppose. We ended up with, not a great draft pick here, so new center, kind of a new tackle, something like that along the lines of that. Middle linebacker to replace Baldwin wouldn't be the worst. D-line, I suppose. Corner, because otherwise it'll be Copper. Barnett is... Oh, he was the 6'5 guy. Maybe Barnett actually starts. But then again, there's no point because it's the final season and our guy's 84. So probably just going to start Copper and future-proof players that we'll never see anyways. That's really... This draft isn't going to mean a whole lot to us specifically, but just for the, the hypothetical future. All right, pick 25. More future-proofing for a time we will not be around for. Trying to think of what was even the number 1 need, to be honest. Quarterback is like so easy to get at this rate that, like, it's just not being taken by anyone. Cummings, yeah, he looks okay, but no thank you. What about our players? 1-2s? Any 1-2s? Any 1-2s at all? No 1-2s. DT, I'm not a huge fan of. We definitely need O-line. Tight end, I think, I don't know if Doug Bean's going to be my guy. I think Shelton's a little bit better because you can just wait for him. But yeah, a lot of same type of things. So we're going to trade this down. I'm not even sure what I mean by a lot of same type of things. The 7th round a year from now for that trade down is crazy. That is what I want. The Browns they know how to get right to my heart. The way to get to my heart is trading to me 15 spots for a full draft pick in the 3rd round. I mean, that's the quickest way to get to my heart. That's all I can really say. What about Walker? That guy kind of looks all right. Did we not take this Walker guy? Who is it? No, I don't want to go west. Walker, Roman Walker. I'm spending so much time on the draft for the one draft that really doesn't matter compared to the other ones. God, I am something else, aren't I? Do you go Clyde Wolfe because he looks so amazing? Let's go Clyde Wolfe because he looks so amazing. 2-3, why not? Hindev, boom. Then the next pick, maybe we move into the DT space as we're going to be needing one somewhat soon. Sherman is really your only option. I also like Phillips for a linebacker, so Juan Sherman. Hindev, there we go. Okay. Once again, not going to matter, but I suppose getting excited for the future us to come along in a different realm. Phillips is still there. I think he is the best of the bunch when it comes to that position group. Hayward's pretty nice. I like Reiner as well. I'm going to go Reiner because we can wait on linebackers. As much as I like Phillips the most, nice. I think Reiner is by far the best remaining lineman that can kind of play all across the line. And for linebacker, I don't even know who the best is. Even though Phillips looks pretty good. Woody makes a case. Smith makes a case. Bo kind of makes a case. So let's just wait it out. All right, we ended up a choice with Woody or Bo, 6'4", 436 with that kind of speed, and he's 21 versus Bo, who is also pretty big, but not in the height department. He's more athletic. Wait, no, he's 22 though. I don't know if Woody has a little bit longer to develop. So Woody and Nev can't go wrong. And then we have a corner that looks pretty decent. 6'1", Deion Shepard, fast enough, I think. 90 speed, not wrong, just not very good. And then Mr. James Everett, speedy enough for me to take. Normal dev, but very fast. For the final draft, this is what the overalls look like. Some of those linemen look pretty damn good. Don't really care too much because I don't think outside of Wolf, we're not going to see any of these guys starting. Or maybe one of them is going to start, but it's basically the offensive line. We'll see whatever dev they get by the end of the season. But gone. The final stretch, the very final season of this Giants 10-year rebuild is among us. Yeah, he said it. He said among us. Corner 2 is the worst it's been in a while. Middle linebacker 2 is not that great. We got Simmons for free agency, though. And Hernandez is a superstar. So, 91 overall. This is obviously a playoff team. It'd be so lackluster if it wasn't. But can we win one final Super Bowl? It would be the final Super Bowl for all Super Bowls. 3 Super Bowl wins out of 10. That is not a bad ratio. All right, technically, we don't need to do this because we're not going to be here for it. But I do like to see what kind of team we're leaving after we leave. Matthews for sure gets a contract. Ramsey probably not. Cousins is not really developed, so probably not. 1 year for Johnson, probably. And then Lawrence, if he doesn't retire, would get a contract. This team actually is not in a terrible spot, re-sign-wise. Big problem is we've lost a lot of the players already, so we finally get into a good spot financially. And it doesn't matter because the players are gone because we couldn't afford them at that time. All right, no bye week, but an amazing season. 13-4 to finish out the rebuild. Can we win in a Super Bowl? Finish it out truly strong. I can't believe 13-4 isn't enough for the bye week, though. Really curious to see which team it was that kind of yoinked that on us. It was... Wait, did I skip too far ahead? Did I actually skip too far ahead? I did. Okay, so thankfully we did make the playoffs, or the wild card round, or the divisional round, because I accidentally skipped too far. Okay, I'm not sure how that physically happened, but A-okay with me. We did get the bye week. I was like, what? Wait, how? But of course, clearly was number 2. He almost won MVP again. No, what a scam. That sucks. But either way, we're in the divisional round with a chance to maybe win another Super Bowl. 3 out of 10. Not bad. Oh, it's snowing in the divisional round. That is kind of sick. Of course, the Bears are no stranger to the inclement weather themselves, so no real advantage, but still just a sick one. I mean, there's nothing better than snowy playoff football. There just isn't, just simply put. 7-all, nice touchdown before half. They got a field goal, though. 14-10 at halftime. 21-10, looking pretty strong to get to the championship round. Fourth quarter, I don't like it. Nice touchdown drive, that should be enough. And it will be. We're going to move on to the championship round. Can we finish out with a bang? Outplayed is Cleary, but of course we had 3 rushing touchdowns, so technically about same, if not better anyways on our side. And there you go with those numbers. Interception for Barnett. It is championship round. Here we are. Good to be back. The Panthers, 12-5. They're probably pissed off at us because we're probably the team that stole their bye week. 5 overalls higher than them. See if we can win. Super Bowl bound if we do. No weathery games this time, as the Jets are waiting the winner of this one. Could it be a battle of New York, if you will? We'll find out. Be a crazy finish. If not, well, that would suck. 10-3. Ooh, I don't like it. 17-3. Huge chance. Nice. Right before half of the touchdown. Down 7. Down by 4. Defense is holding on. Offense needs to do better. And then, of course, to say all that, and the defense finally gives up a touchdown. It's back up by 3. We need a stop. Can we get a stop? Oh, no. 1:40. I haven't come into the game in so long either. Look at the clock. We're running the ball with like no timeouts left. What are we doing? Let's try to get this out of bounds. Oh, it's behind him. Try to pitch it. Couldn't. Gonna have to use that timeout. It's good yardage, but not the best throw in the world, unfortunately. Corners with the slot look. I don't really like that. I mean, it's really kind of a force to Smith. I'm going to force this to Smith, I think. Is it a force? He drops it! It's a perfect throw. What do you mean good accuracy? It's amazing. Talk about a choke job. This feels like a force to Neighbors. And it's going to be a force over to Theo. Almost pick. Who is that guy? That guy is insane at jumping. Look at how high this guy jumps. That's crazy. Going 4 verticals. They're leaving Neighbors one-on-one. I don't know about that now. Oh, I guess I do know about that. He's open. Touchdown! Smith! Blown play. I don't know why there was so much single coverage, but they gave it to us, and barring a miracle, it looks like we're going to win. These 299 overall wide receivers are too much. And 34-31, we are into the Super Bowl once again. On the final season. Cleary, kind of outplayed by the other team again, but then again, 2 rushing touchdowns himself. What a game. And we are going to be headed on to the Super Bowl for the 3rd and final time of this rebuild. Super Bowl bound, baby. Who's it going to be against? Oh, no, we already know. It's the Jets. It is the Jets, Jets. 9-8 apparently is good enough these days to make the playoffs pretty consistently. And we've been seeing that a lot. We already looked at pretty much all the players' overalls, but I guess we'll take another look at Cleary, see if that... the deep accuracy did get up there. It definitely got up there. And then defensively, nothing really changed. I guess I want to look at Hunter and Stoudemire. Richard Hunter, 28 years old, started as an X-Factor. Unbelievable press man corner, and his zone is actually not too terrible at this rate. Then you look over at Stoudemire, who should be insane at zone coverage, which he is, an 89 with all the speed in the world. What a draft pick that was. And then, I suppose, as a long-standing guy, I kind of want to see what Neighbors' potential award wins are, if anything. And man, he really didn't have that many 1,000-yard seasons. It's just that that Chiefs teamwork scheme, 2 Pro Bowl appearances. It really just makes whoever the guy. It doesn't really have a trend, really, but obviously ever since moving to the Chiefs scheme, unbelievable seasons from Theo, who is now 6 Pro Bowl appearances. Unbelievable stuff. But here it is, the Jets for all the marbles. Can we win a 3rd? Let's find out. End of the game for all the marbles. Jets start off with 3. We bounce back with 7. We get a stop. We get another 7. We get another 7. I don't know what it is. It's maybe not always the cleanest way to the Super Bowl, but once we're in there, we dominate. This team knows how to win a damn Super Bowl, and that is exactly what's going to happen here with a 35-23 win over the New York Jets. 3 Super Bowl wins out of 10 seasons. And realistically, it's like 3 out of 6 when it comes to like playoff seasons. We had like 5 or 6 playoff berths and won 3 Super Bowls out of those. So, I mean, it took a little while to build up this roster, but ultimately, this was a successful rebuild, especially from where this team started. Cleary was maybe not the best pick to be a franchise quarterback. Looked pretty accurate, was missing some ratings, was only star dev. Didn't really feel like a number 1 overall pick, but definitely has developed into that. The contract we signed him on was such a cheap deal that I don't know how he wouldn't have held out. But ultimately, the man has won 3 Super Bowls, and he's still got enough in the tank to win potentially a couple more. Got another 6+ seasons in him. And I don't know what's going on with that beard there, but Cleary and the Giants are Super Bowl champions yet again 3 times in this rebuild. Unbelievable stuff. Let's take a look at the game. Cleary saved his best for last. McQueen always having just one really bad performance. Defensively, Dexter Lawrence going out with a bang as well. 3 Super Bowls for him as well. Moody! What are you doing, dude? And that would be it. I'll show you guys. I don't think we seasoned the second rebuild. Did I show you guys that we didn't like, restart or force any wins or anything? I don't know, but 2 of them at least I did. And that is going to be it for this 10-year rebuild. Don't know how many more I'll end up doing because, man, these are really long. And it is tedious. It is a lot of time spent in one go. And I guess if you guys really enjoy these, we'll do more. So maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate getting support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PK Plays for now. Madden content might have been Texas Chainsaw Massacre video up earlier today or later today. If not either, yesterday there was one, so there's that. Regardless, though, let me know what team you'd like to see next. We still technically probably have to do our Texans franchise, if I even have that file still. It's been so long since I've been in there. Might have accidentally deleted it. And then obviously whenever the Bisons franchise ends, if we have time, we'll do one for that, I think. But we'll see. And let me know what team you'd like to see next. But anyways, thanks for watching this super long video. Hopefully it's under 3 hours. If not, I'm going to feel really dumb. But regardless, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video,